3, 2. Oh my God.
What's up?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the program.
Shout out to Airtime, y'all podcast.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. We have one of my favorite up-and-comers. I say that about a lot of people. But as I do with the rewatching of this individual's footage over the last decade, more specifically in the last 5 years, I found myself, catching myself that I didn't give this individual enough praise on this podcast over the last 5 years for just how good he is. A true ATV from south of the border, from the USA, Keegan Hosefros. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you for all those kind words. So stoked to be on the show. So thank you for having me.
Did I butcher the last name?
No, you actually got the last name right, and I was like waiting for you to butcher it.
No way!
I was like, oh, he's about to say Hosefros, but it is Hosefros.
Hosefros? What is that, German?
It's like German, Dutch. I'm definitely like a mutt.
You're a mutt?
I'm a mutt of some sort.
We're all mutts.
Yeah, we're all mutts.
Everybody's a mutt. Purebred is rare. Like, unless maybe you're from Africa, I guess that's the only purebred, or
I don't know, maybe.
based on the science we have right now, I don't know.
Maybe like fully English.
I feel like Egyptian people might be like purebred too, you know?
Yeah,
Egyptians?
Egyptians. Yeah, I honestly don't know what I am. I think I'm just like German and Dutch, and that's just what I am.
Are you rooted at all? And by that, I mean, are you connected with your lineage at all? Like, do you feel like you celebrate the culture a lot? Do you do German and Dutch activities?
No.
None.
No. Maybe some Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Dude, that isn't German and Dutch specific. That's just everyone's celebrating Christmas, dude.
Aren't the Christians freaking celebrating Christmas? And it's just like if you're Jewish, you're celebrating Hanukkah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, we just opened these delicious Gibbons cervezas. And so since we have these, a toast, thanks for coming on, long overdue. Why don't we start this off with something like, what's your vibes on the Olympics?
What are my vibes on the Olympics? Big air, really boring to watch. Slopestyle, looks like the jumps were too small. The chicks are sick. Yeah, there's some sick dudes out there, but the chicks are the more fun part of it to watch, I think. Couple cute ones.
I'm single.
Yeah, I'm single, so yeah, a couple cute ones out there. I don't know. I thought the men's slope style was cool to watch because it was smaller jumps, making everyone have to spin the same rotations.
I almost thought because of the small jumps that Rene, your teammate, was going to kind of excel. A couple bobbles and stuff, maybe a little bit. The scoring throughout, the entirety of Big Air and Slope was difficult. If you were a rider, you'd be like, what do these judges want? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But Rene was somebody that I would have maybe threw my money on after qualifiers.
Yeah, I feel like it's anyone's game when the jumps are that size. And the course was just so like plain. It's just rail, jump. There's no like quarter pipes or hips. They have all the snow in the world, all the money in the world to build the course. So I'm just kind of like a little confused on why it wasn't so top tier. But like Rene, I wish he made it to the finals, but he's kind of the best one out there.
For sure. And he's also bringing like an element to the contest world that isn't just grab and spin as fast as possible, one direction, which there are some riders that are doing it. Some riders, I think, struggle to spin fast and have good style. I will give some flowers to Mark Mick, and he does the back 14 Indy, like his style. I feel like every frame in there, if you were, your godfather, Aaron Blatt, apparently. Is he your godfather?
Yeah. Damn, you found it. Damn, I didn't think you would find that one out, but yeah.
John Martin threw that one out to me at the circle yesterday.
No way. That's a sick one.
That's kind of random, eh?
Yeah, it's super random, but
Sidebar. Let's go down this tunnel now. Why is Aaron Blatt, the legendary photographer, staff photographer for Burton? He was staff photographer for Vans. He's shot probably 500,000 covers.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know the name, but how did he come to be your godfather?
Well, I grew up in Vermont from like 1 to 14, and when I was like 6, my parents put me into a snowboard program at Sugarbush, and Aaron was going to college at UVM, or I think it was Champlain or UVM, and that's like right in Burlington, and Burlington's the hub for Burton, and like that whole scene of people. So like he's growing up with all these like with like Nigro and like all these industry people from Vermont, and then he just was a snowboard coach on the weekends, and he was my first snowboard coach when I was like 6 years old, and then we became like family friends. Like he wasn't really friends with me because I was just like the little kid, but then he like became friends with my parents, and like my dad and him shoot the shit like no other, and they're always talking about some stupid shit, but like my mom is like, he's just like our family, and became like family friends. And then we like held that all the way until we moved across the country to Tahoe. And then he met Michelle, and she lives in Tahoe. And then just like all kind of came together through that. And now we're just like, he's over for Thanksgiving. He's watching football on the couch. He's getting banana bread from my mom. So
Pat McCarthy just called in before we were recording, before we pressed record, and he mentioned this famous banana bread. What's going on with this banana bread? I don't think banana bread's that good, for the record.
I think you should probably taste my mom's banana bread for sure. But my mom has some like secret recipe, and she just like makes a million banana breads and just like freezes them and sends them out and to all our family friends. And I don't know, it's just like her thing. Like
Too vague. What are we talking? Nuts here, brown sugar on the top, maple syrup. Like what? Like
I can't give that away.
Damn,
that's a family,
not even. That's a family tradition.
A family secret.
Is it Dutch? You think? Is it the lineage?
I don't even want to give it away.
All right.
I can't even give it away. That's her secret to give away.
All right. Well, maybe another secret, or not so after this. But let's rate Aaron Blatt's coaching abilities from 0 to 10. Now, looking back, you know.
I actually have a good memory of this one. He made me ride switch like 2 days straight, and I was like hating it all day, but I think he like really put the right bug inside me to be like, oh, this is cool here. And then watching his progression through the whole thing, and like seeing that it's like actually doable, but he did it on like a different level, like the photography world. But he just is like, oh, you do this, you buy a sled, you buy a truck, and just like, he just like kind of paved a path for me to like, his coaching was good, but I think his whole like being a friend and showing that you can do something if you put your head down to it, like you can do it. And he was a perfect example, and I like followed his lead, and then he like allowed me to like get contacts, talk to people, you know, like I've known like all these people in the industry forever, since being like 6 years old. They're all like Burton dudes or like Rome guys, or just, I don't know. It's just like I've been around the circle for a while. So I don't really know what the question was. Was he a good coach?
I just wanted you to give him, out of 0 to 10, what would you give him as coaching abilities?
Coaching abilities?
Come on.
We'll give him a 7.
7. I think that if we weren't online, you would have shot a 6 there.
Yeah, I could barely remember what he taught me, to be honest. I remember he taught me there was this like dragon box, the swooping dragon box, and one time he's like, you got this, and I like go up on it, try to do it, and he's like got his camera out, like little 7-year-old Keegan, just, and I remember he was taking the photo with a fish, and I go off the box, and I fly off it, like loop out, and he catches me midair. And I just can't. I don't know. He didn't really teach me. All he taught me was like riding boxes and turning and having fun and shooting the shit with like older dudes, I guess, when I was 6 years old, 7 years old.
So at 6 years old, you hit the flying dragon tail box, which we should have more of those because they are fun.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really
And now that
sick.
everybody's into jamming, you could jam over the front and land on the backside.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Those would be sick. Like back 180 jam, that would be sick.
Yeah.
You know, Keegan Hosefros style or whatever. And Absinthe, he has a couple cool ones of that. But
I'll have to
anyways.
bring up the photo for you.
But
There's a sick one.
But you mentioned he caught you. You flew off the dragon and then he caught you.
Like, I don't know. Like, it was like go up, down, up, little like donkey dick at the end.
Ooh, the swoopty tail.
Like swoopty tail. And I just remember coming into it with too much speed and coming down the first down and just looping out like back. And he just like was just there and he just like caught me. He just like caught me. And I was just like, oh my God.
Homie saves your life and you give him a 7.
He was dude, Brandon McKerney, him and Brandon McKerney were like the sickest dudes to be around when I was at that age. Like, there's some fucking funny ass photos they got of me like bagged up in their like big ass clothes and like have like a mod Burton board. It's pretty funny.
So earliest memory of being inspired by pros, magazines, videos, like what was the early influence? Like if you're starting to get a coach at 6 years old, you know, by 8, you kind of have an idea of what's up. If Blatt's already feeding you a bunch of information, if you're hanging around the Burton people and you're around these industry heads, I feel like you get, when you're immersed in that kind of culture and you have access to that kind of knowledge of what snowboarding actually is, at an early age, you get the bug and you kind of fall like, who were those main dudes, girls, brands at the beginning that influenced your riding?
Well, Rome, a lot of Rome, because I like grew up in this town called Waterbury in Vermont, and Rome is from Waterbury. So like I was like 10 minutes away from the office, and I would like go to the sales and like be the kid who would like sell the little like Nixon watches at the whatever. They would have like sales every year, like a pro sale, where they'd like discount boards off and they would have people stand at their thing. So like Rome for sure. Burton was huge. You would like, I don't know, there's a whole scene of people from Sugarbush, like Luke Haddock and like Yale Kuzno and like, I don't know, there was like Riley Nickerson and like Ralph, I can't remember his last name right now, but everyone knows who I'm talking about. It's this guy, Ralph. So that scene of people was just, and like Jake Blauvelt. Jake Blauvelt was like
Ralph and then Jake Blauvelt.
Yeah, like Jake Blauvelt was like huge because I grew up with Mason in Waterbury when I was like, and we became best friends at like 8 or 9 or whatever, going to first grade together, going all the way to like high school together, and then I moved out west. But you know, Jake's his uncle, so I'd like go over and see Jake Blauvelt. I'd be like, what the fuck? And like see him at like Stowe Mountain, and we'd just be like riding around. He's like doing cab 5s on the jumps, and I'm like, holy shit, this guy's like so pro. So pro. But yeah, he was a big influence. You know, I got to go to the Burton Bash parties in Stowe, Vermont, like where all the like, you know, my whole family would show up. Blatt would be there, and like we would go run around, and like they had like a downstairs arcade, like chocolate fountains, like pool room, like it was just like the whole Burton Bash. I know everyone knows about that if they've heard about it. So,
dude, let's hear more about this chocolate fountain. But like, so like actually like a big fountain of chocolate that you dip like what, fruit into?
yeah, just like fruit. It's like warm, and it's like a waterfall chocolate fountain. And I'm just like a little kid, just like, what the fuck is this shit? Yeah.
Dude, come on. A chocolate water fountain, dude. We did not have those in Winnipeg growing up. I'll tell you that. No chocolate water fountains. None. Just like ashtrays.
Yeah.
What do you think the pros and cons, to pivot a little bit here to go back to where we kind of started with the Olympics there. What do you think the pros and cons of growing up in a contest competitive space is? I know that you kind of grew up in a little bit of a circuit doing contests really young for a big stint. Mm-hmm. Now fully, I mean, previous to now, big stint in the steel and now more in the backcountry. But looking back and kind of reflecting on those early years, what do you think some of the pros and cons are of a young kid getting into the contest circuit?
I wouldn't if I were you. But
Zero pros.
yeah, like there's some pros. There's some pros like I met all of my friends in the snowboard industry, like Jack McDougall from Canada. Like I would have never met him if it wasn't for the Sun Peaks slope style. But you know, like I'm not gonna lie, like all those dust box kids were all competing and like doing rev tours and shit, and like I was seeing them, hanging out with them. So like I just built such a great like friend group, and you know, like I met Sean and dust box kids, Jack, like the Mateo, like even remembers who I was like one time, and I was like, oh, you remember that one time? Like, yeah, that one time. Yeah, those are pros. You know, the pros are like you're building a community of people, you're like riding at a level, you're getting fundamentals, you're competing. Like that's all like mental and like good structure, I think, to like grow off of as like a young kid, because then they could like kind of translate into anything else. Like, oh, I want to do this, and how do I do it? Oh, I gotta learn how to do a front 3 before I do a front 7. It's like this. It's like the blocks you take to get to the top. But those are the pros of it. The cons are like the nerves, the money you have to spend, the money that you don't have at 16 years old or 17 or 18. That's like that shit. That's it. That shit kind of sucks. It kind of like ends your career in that world if you don't have backing. But yeah, I just fucking hate wearing that bib and not riding powder or something. Like it's just scary dropping in when it's all flat light and there's a big jump and you're just like a brainless kid just like trying to make a name for yourself up there somehow. I don't know.
But if you can push yourself in a healthy amount in those conditions, you can extract something from that. Because a lot of times when you go, let's say if you get invited to NST, which, you know, to give you your props right now, like I hope that you're one of the first picks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw the new lineup today. You saw Yuki Kadono in there. I forget the rest of the names, but Yuki being the new one. I was like, kind of like, damn. And after watching all your, I was like, dude, Keegs is the dude. You got to be invited.
I was thinking maybe it would happen, but maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Like Razman even told me, he's like, dude, like you want to go and you want to show up. And I'm like, that's right. So I'm just kind of taking it as another year to practice and like get ready, because I know it's coming down the line, and I know like that's cocky to say, but like I want it. I know it. I'm manifesting it. I can't wait for that day, but I can't just like let it bog me down now. It's already happened.
And you rode shitty contests in flat light when you were a kid, which is going to help if you go to natural selection and the weather's shit.
That is true.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes the weather's not good, and being that young, hungry kid who can extract a clip when others can't, because you're kind of down to be like, I'll back 7 this thing in flat light. Like I used to hit 70-foot park jumps where I couldn't even see the knuckle. Like, let's go.
Totally.
Like, you know what I mean? Like there's, you kind of said that there was no pros of doing the contest circuit there. And then you went through like a pretty sick list. And I think that list is what, even me when I was young, from that like 10 to 11 years old, we did contests all the way till we were like 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think at one point you realize if they're for you or if they're not. I think everybody at the very end of their contest career, everybody realizes there's this other chapter, which hopefully everybody finds. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at Mark Mick right now and how probably like fuck he is with the, you know, wanting that gold probably more than anybody. Just the dedication he's put into trying to win and then not extracting that win. But it's like, dude, seeing Mark go into like his Craig Kelly chapter, I'm like, dude, I'm kind of waiting for that.
Yeah, dude, he's a beast for like being on that level, and he's not old by any means, but he's like, dude, the it's like 16, 17, 18-year-olds who are doing 1800s, And like he's also a big dude too, so like he's not tiny and can just spin super fast. Like he's doing everything so proper. Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Mark, to be honest. He's probably one of the best to ever do it. I don't really know him that well. Hits me with a little comment on Instagram. I'm like, holy shit, Mark McMorris just commented on my shit. But then I'm like, all right, cool. I've met him a couple times, but I don't know. He's a G. He's always been a G to me. He rides super well, so, and that's what I respect him on.
Let's go. Okay, who would you be most hyped on to get a comment? A couple, maybe 2 or 3 comments that are, if you see that comment, you're like, no way. That person left a comment. My day is complete.
Cardiel.
Have you ever got a Cardiel?
No, I've never gotten a Cardiel. But a Cardiel would be pretty sick because he's super raw. You know, like a Jed Anderson. That'd be a crazy one. I'd be like, what the fuck? Why is Jed Anderson even like commenting on my shit? But then, who else would be a good one that would trip me out? I kind of think those 2 would be kind of it, to be honest.
I mean, great pick.
Yeah, like Cardiel, Jed Anderson, like 2 people. I'm just like, oh my God, if I saw them, I freeze. But yeah.
I liked being at Evo with you for the premiere, and Mark Soller started following you when we were outside, and you're like, no way, Mark Soller started following me.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, holy
A good
shit.
follow is sick, though. If it's the right one, like, I haven't got the follow from Cardio, but I've been DMing with him a bit.
Oh,
and
no
he
way.
did say that he would be down to do a pod. But that in itself, to me, I was probably flying for like 2 days off that buzz. I was like, dude, the fact that I had a back and forth with John Cardiel and like kind of getting to know through flipping through all these old magazines and videos, just how significant his career was early on to influence someone like you specifically, your approach. You know what I mean? I talked to BMO before this call, before we recorded, and he was talking about, he really praised you on like your style and just your dedication to the craft and how good you are. And I think after that call and then kind of rewatching some of your footage, I was like, damn, like I think you're kind of underrated in the world. Like you're rated, people know your name for sure. You're getting opportunity, but I was kind of looking at it. Let's check out this comparison I came up with. I was kind of stoked on this. I was like, BMO and Keegs are kind of like the Jack McDougal and Bryn.
I would, dude, like definitely, Bryn is definitely Blake, because Bryn is like so fucking good, and Blake is probably one of the, I think he's like the best snowboarder out right now, because he's my best homie, and I've seen him do the most incredible things. And then Rasmus's like, fucking, I don't know, Rasmus's pretty fucking good too. Yeah, Bryn and Dukes, dude. I don't know Bryn that well, but I know Dukes, dude. Dukes is my dog. I fuck with Dukes heavy. But I think Rasmus kind of scared him the other day, so so I don't know. I'm trying to get Dukes to come out with us a little bit more, but Rasmus might have scared him.
Let's peel back a couple layers here. Why do you think Rasmus might have scared a Jack McDougal here?
Dude, Rasmus needs to be like jacket flapping, high speed, needs to go like over 60 feet for anything to happen. Well, anything happens with that guy, but like, dude, he just only can do stuff if his jacket's flapping. And I don't know. I watched something a couple days ago, and I was like, this is not possible. I don't want to hit this. And like Jack Dukes and Chris like came up on this one feature that they saw a year ago or something, and I could like tell that I was like, Dukes is scared. And I like went up and I was like shoveling the jump, and I was like, yo guys, I think I'm gonna like not hit this one. And then I was like, I'm a pussy. And then I watched Dukes hit it the Chris has got it. Chris is so dialed. flies out of the air, goes to his ass. He's super chill. But then Dukes hits it, and I'm like, and he gets done. He tomahawks all crazy. He's like, I'm not hitting that again. I'm done. And then we invited him out the last like 2 days, 3 days, and he's like, nah, all good. All good. I'm going to go with Jaden. And I was like, are you sure? Like, you should come out with us. We were like pretty productive. And he's like, nah, I'm all good. I never want to do that again. I was like, dude, okay. Respect.
For some context there, they hit this jump. I'm just down in the bottom, hanging out.
Me too.
Jack Dukes drops into this jump, and it's like, dude, this thing. How big do you think that is? 80 feet to the knuckle, 100?
80 feet to the knuckle, and then you have to, if you go left or right, like you're adding like 20 to 10 feet, and then
the drop's got to be 40.
Drops like 40 or 50. It's like it's big as stepmothers, whatever.
Is it the biggest jump you've ever seen?
It's the biggest jump I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's the biggest jump I've ever seen in my life.
I was
too.
like tripping. I was like, you want to do this? So like every day now, I like wake up. I'm like, what is Chris Rasman gonna do? like Tom and I have this joke. We're like, what is Rasman gonna do today? Because dude, it's like roto. You know, you're just like, oh, it's like his turn, my turn, whatever. Finn's turn, Sean's turn, Jack's turn, and like it's fucking his turn. You're just like, I know he's just gonna go to the biggest, gnarliest thing there is here in this like Whistler backcountry zone, which is all pretty big compared to a lot of the things in the States, I would say.
It's so weird watching Chris, like over the last 15 years. I watched his whole career pretty much with my own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And every time he hits something big, it's just he has this ability to look and make everybody on the crew feel so comfortable when he's going that big. Like, not once was I scared when he was doing those front threes on this like 100 and something foot jump. I was like, every time I was like, yeah, he's got it. Perfect scooch out, safe. And then poor Jack, like luckily he lost the Rosham, or luckily he won the Rosham or whatever their game that they're playing, winner or loser, whoever has to go first. Because it varies between crews. Some people, if you win, you go, whatever.
Yeah.
But Jack went second. And at least he kind of had the speed, so he knuckled, but not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But like, homie finished the back 7, and he's got 30, 40 more feet of air to go, and he slowly over-rotates the back 7 to like an 800, hooks his heel edge, and does a double tomahawk going like 100 miles an hour. Like,
it was, he was like, I'm not hurt, I'm not bad. I was like, yeah, right, dude.
Had like 7 cigarettes on his sled and didn't talk to anyone.
Had so many cigarettes after that, like one back 7 attempt. I was like, dude, wow, you're like, that was a lot of pressure, or like a lot of like, just like you, just trying to decompress from something like that's like crazy. I think
when you see someone like Rasman like attacking like that, one thing that I kind of saw you do as, I would say, a new-ish backcountry rider, because you're not out, like some of the people you're going out with, like Gigi and Belzil and Blavelt and stuff, have been out there for so long, and that's kind of my generation. But you, being somebody newer who grew up on like a video like Landline or whatever, your ability to be like, I don't want to hit this jump, and I'm completely content with that decision, was Rasman, while we were doing the in-run, was like, I'm really impressed with Keegan's maturity level out here. When you say no, it's no. Where like, I feel like a lot of people, their first 5 or 6 years really in the mountains, especially when you're with a new crew, any opportunity you want to capitalize on. So you kind of want to hit anything, even though it might not be in your lane or in your wheel well. You were like, looked at the jump, saw everything. You're like, that's not my thing. Like, I'm all good hanging up my hat, not hitting this huge jump with Rasman. But I thought it was like, kudos for you for just being like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to save it for another day. And then the next couple days, did you have a couple? I switched up the crew. I switched up the crew.
You switched up, bro. We had a good day. We had a down day the day before. And then it was time to crack it the next day because we were all itching.
Well, let's talk about these last couple days. It's your first kind of bigger stint here in Whistler, I think.
Yeah. Last year I did like a month here, but I did not see the sun. And I've you know, like, dude, rolling around with Rasmus and Thomas, and like, dude, it's insane. It's so productive and it's so fun. And yeah, like this is why I like backcountry snowboarding, the way they do it. Like, maybe not building 100-foot, 50-foot, 100-foot jump, but like, dude, we're doing sled laps, we're getting shit done. Rasmus has an idea of where we're going in the morning, and I'm like, dude, like, let's go do this. And I think that's like a productive idea, but it's nothing compared to his idea. So I like say it, and then I listen to him, and I'm like, that's a way better idea. We should do that. Like, I'm stupid for saying that. but what was the question? I'm sorry. It was
more like, you know, this is you're new to Whistler. Yeah. Like, actually, you know what? Let's pause on that for 1 second. I'm going to bring up a question from the one and only, your close friend, the legend, one of your favorite snowboarders, one of my favorite snowboarders, one of everybody's favorite snowboarders, Blake.
Yo, what's up, Keegan and Jody? Hello, boys. Keegs, stoked you're recording with Jody. I'm hyped to listen. Just wanted to ask, how's it been hanging with the Whistler homies, dude? How's the sledding? Are you addicted to Whistler, like, on a full-time level? Yeah, dude, just give us some details. I want to know what it's like. I'm looking forward to listening and looking forward to seeing all the stuff you come out with this year. Yeah, boys.
Man, I love that kid. He's the best. He's got my back. I got his. Ride and die, homie. Love that guy. Yeah, Whistler's fucking epic. It's like the best place to, like, if it's sunny and conditions are good, like, I don't want to go anywhere else. Like, I don't our crew went to Canada this year, or went to Japan this year, and I was like, I'm not going. I don't want to go. Like, I don't want to spend the money and go there and, like, yada yada, this and that. I want to save all my chips for Whistler. And I did go, and it was so fun. It was a sick strike mission. It was sick. Chris and I made it sick, and Finn and Sean. But, like, all I want to do is go sled with these boys, and, like, sledding with, like, Chris and E-Jack and Thomas the last few days have, like, made me a better sledder. Kind of kicked me right into shape. But I don't really want to go anywhere else. Like, Chris talks a lot of shit on interior, and I'm like, why do you not like interior? And then he says all these things, and then he's like, we're just staying in Whistler. And I'm like, okay, cool. I listen to whatever you want to, whatever you say. And it's like, you get the most shit done here. You can go ride lines, you can hit jumps, you can hit little pillows if it calls for it. And it's just like the Mecca. Like, there's cool bars to go to. There's a scene here. There's nice people. It's not like Salt Lake where it's all, like, edgy and shit. Like, everyone's so edgy there. And then here it's like just nice ass Canadian people, and it's just great here. Like, I want to live in Pemberton now. Like, it's like Truckee or Pemberton for me now. So, like, oh man, I just figure that out somehow. I hope I answered that right.
No, I think that you killed it. I mean, it seems like you're enjoying your time here. I mean, most people do. And I think the one thing that people can kind of get the wrong interpretation of Whistler, where they think it's played based on podcasts like myself. Like, you come on here and the older generation speaks to all of the history back in, you know, Brandywine or Rutherford or all these iconic zones.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, oh, they're played. I don't want to go to Whistler. You know what I mean? But when you are a kid who didn't grow up in Whistler or whatever, and you have a fresh set of eyes, there's no way that the gaps and the way that you interpret the mountain is going to be this bored piece that you end up filming. You know what I mean? It's going to be exciting because you're not going to just come here. And the generation that I grew up on, where you just stack a wedge and look for a landing, of course, there's a huge amount of, like, boredom that comes out of that, because you go to the same jumps in the same spots, because you just look for a jump on a roll and you jump into the landing. But the way that people ride now, specifically the way that you ride, which is very freestyle focused, with obviously you're down to stack a couple blocks and hit some step downs and some gaps when the timing is right.
Yeah.
No doubt. And those shots look incredible. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
back 10 and stuff like that. Great shots. But some of my favorite shots of yours have been the things that are just fully natty, where you saw something that your unique approach in snowboarding would complement that terrain. And you see Torstein come back here year over year, and he films, he unlocks a new gap and finds a new secret tape every single year.
There's so much to do here. It just takes a new eye. So I don't know, Rasmus like took us to this zone. He's like, I've been here a million times and I just found something. I was like, I'm gonna ride that. And he's like, I've never seen anyone ride that. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, that shit's so sick. But like, this place is like the sickest place. I've been dreaming about like coming to Whistler and doing a stint like this and like getting a couple sunny days and like rolling with a crew that's dialed. Like I've been dreaming about it for like 5 years now. I've been like thinking about this moment and I'm like, holy shit, it's actually kind of happening. But like, I don't know. I better knock on wood. Hopefully it keeps going, but I'm having so much fun here. It's crazy. I haven't like had this much fun on my snowboard in probably like a year or 2 years. Cause it's just like, dude, you just get to go ride like 7 big turns down a face. Ride big line or like medium. They're like, there's big lines, but there's those medium mini golf. Like you can do anything you want here. You can launch a method like 100 feet if you want off some natty bump. Just got to go fast enough. Like, dude, the world's your oyster here. It's crazy.
And you know what? If you go north to Pemberton,
Yeah.
or a couple other zones, you really can get into like AK style snowboarding, you know? There's very few riders that have the budget and the means to do that. But I mean, the more you talk to people who've ridden out there, like the Joe Laxes and the Kai Petersons and stuff like that, a lot of the skier crews have saved up a significant amount of budget and have gone and rode a lot of those things. But every single year there's like a new face or whatever. And I know Joe Lax specifically from north of Pemberton has so many lines that like you just wait for the right snow year. And the one thing that's really good with this year is just how good the snowpack has been coming in. It's been challenging as far as anything subalpine or below tree line. You're pretty much, there's no pillows, you know what I mean? You're going to have to wait for a significant amount of snow. But anything in the alpine as of right now, today, check your local Avi forecast, because I know the rest of the world is having a challenging year.
Bad year.
Bad year. And there's already been a huge incident in Tahoe, I believe, where there was like a fatality that I saw the other day where like 15 people or something passed away. So
Yeah.
I can only imagine how much that community who might be listening is hurting right now. So condolences to all those friends and family members. And on the note of backcountry, you know, we talk about it in this way where it sounds so exciting and fun, but it does come with this inherent risk. So take an avalanche course, take a first aid course. And the one thing that you touched on there that maybe we shouldn't overlook is you're really happy to be here in Whistler with a dialed crew. What does a dialed crew look like to you?
Everyone knows how to sled. Everyone knows how to side hill. Everyone has a board rack. You know, everyone has a positive attitude. Everyone wakes up and wants to get to the trailhead on time. You know, like, dude, you get out there early, like, but like 7 o'clock's a chill start, or like a 7:30, like that's how you get it done. So like having the crew all on that same page has helped me feel less like stressed in a way. Like you know, like we're out there all day. We get that, like we leave, we're on the sleds by 7 or 7:30, and then you're like, get to the zone by like 8:30, and you're like, okay, we can do anything we want now. Instead of like when previous years, maybe it would be like 9 o'clock and 8:30, and then you're out on the sleds, you get out there, it's like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it's pretty much lunchtime, lights shifting off the other things, and you're just like, fuck. But like, it's awesome. Like, I'm like, Rasmus's like, oh, we're going here, it's morning light. I'm like, okay, cool, fuck yeah. And we go there and it's morning light and we smash it all the way to like 12 or 1 o'clock. And I'm just like, this is how you fucking do it. Like, I'm so like I'd rather wake up early than fucking be out there late now. But I was on the sleds one day at like 11:30 and got out to the zone at 12, sat in the clouds, and had a very successful afternoon. But that's only if the weather like comes through. So weather's super crazy here. Can't go on the clouds. Clouds fuck you here.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, dialed crew's the best. I've never been like, this is the most dialed crew I've ever been with, so I'm really blessed.
Well, I would hope so. Everyone here is like 40, only like, 35 to 40 years. You're going out with, you're like Eric Jackson. You're like, dude, imagine he's still a loose cannon. You're like, dude, what? Like,
He's not a loose cannon at all. He's like,
no,
dude,
not
he's
at all.
So, dude, they're so dialed. They're just so dialed. And like, I'm like a little slower when it comes to the zone. Like, I'm seeing these things for the first time. I'm getting there and I'm like, all right, I'm going to like take it in, look at the cool things. And then you got like Eric who's like, I'm going to go ride that thing right now. And I'm like, oh fuck, like I need to be a little bit more on the train, like get on it. But dude, it's like that initiation and just like hype to go do it. It's like, that's what you need to get myself going to. So I really appreciate that kind of stuff.
I think that's a good like pointer in life.
Yeah.
Is you got to shoot your shot. You know what I mean?
Totally.
When the opportunity arises, you need to be like, okay, I see an opportunity, I'm going to take that. And if you hesitate for too long when you knew there was an opportunity, someone most likely is already going to do that. If you have a good business idea, whatever it is, a girl that you see that you actually like, you got to shoot your shot. You see that method, you pull into the bowl, you give it a second because you don't want to be the overly keen person. Nobody likes keen annoying because that's just tragic.
Yeah,
and
that's tragic.
And you also want to like read the room. If you just rode your big cross court 100-foot method,
yeah,
it's kind of Eric's turn to go or Chris's turn.
Exactly.
But if it's first thing in the morning, everybody got some clips yesterday, it's a bit of a reset button. You pull into that bowl and you see this boob to boob that you want a cross court natty front 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe for you a switch backside rodeo. I don't know. Just maybe.
Gotta get one of those this year. So
yeah, natty back 10 maybe.
Ooh, that would be, yeah, Tom's been chirping that one in my ear actually quite a bit. That's the thing about it is that you can do all this stuff here. It's just like, oh, we go to Brandywine, and Brandywine's like the shit. There's just shit everywhere. And then there's so many other zones here. I almost like let one go right
No,
there,
there's
but
only Brandywine.
There's only
Come
Brandywine.
on. It's Brandywine
only
and bus.
Brandywine.
What do you want to go to Rutherford and go on that 900-hour?
Fuck that road. And all the scary glacier. Fuck the glacier, dude. Dude, we went there one day and like Chris was like, he's like, do not go outside the path. And I was like, holy shit, okay. He's like, people die here every single year, multiple people a year. And I'm like, yeah, like, he looks you in the eye like a dad moment. He's like, do not fuck up. And I was like, wow, I need that.
Yeah, Razman's wife's dad's brother extracted the last person who fell into like a 500-foot hole with his sled. So
No
you're
way.
like, yeah. Oh yeah. And he was
my God.
he was somebody that I'm pretty sure is like fairly he has ridden Rutherford like a ton in the past, so like not a new person. So like there's a two kind of paths that favor the right hand side.
Yeah.
That you kind of want to, once there's a sled track in there, you kind of just go like, okay, that person didn't fall in the hole, here we go.
Yeah.
But Rutherford's this whole thing where it's like the glacier keeps melting every year. I always look at it like you take an ice cube out of your fridge and then you hold it under the faucet with your two fingers and you hold that thing and you just turn it on blast in the summer because it's melting, and then you put it back in. And then next year you do that.
Yeah.
And you do that in increments. Eventually you grab that ice cube and the whole thing just disintegrates and collapses because it's done. And it's like, that's what's happening to that glacier.
Yeah.
And so like every year I'm like, is there going to be a new hole? Like there was this one zone that we used to love. It was called Roly Poly. It's one of my favorite zones ever. One time I was sledding up there and like right to my right is just like this massive black hole. And I was like, holy shit, this is like way more glaciated than I ever imagined. And then throughout that day, I kept seeing these holes popping up that weren't there previously. Now, whenever I see anybody post anything in there, I'm like, bro, like you guys better be traveling with a bunch of ropes and harnesses and everything like that. Cause those holes aren't like dropping from your top roof to your basement. Like you're going, you're
No.
dude.
You're
like,
going deep,
You're going
dude.
deep, dude.
Like you're not getting saved either. Like maybe you will be, and like you get lucky, but dude, you're gonna die.
Do you have a rope? Are you a climber or anything?
No, but Blake has definitely set me up some shit and scared the shit out of me. I think I've been the most scared with him on a multi-pitch climb in the Cottonwood Canyon, Utah. Like
So he gets your heart going seasonally.
Oh, totally. Like I don't think he rides like bikes or anything, but dude, yeah, I've like the only time I go climbing is with Blake, and he always scares the shit out of me. And he's always like, "Yeah, like I haven't climbed all season. This is my first time too. Can you trad climb me?" Like, you know what trad climbing is? It's like this climbing where like they don't set a top anchor, so like he's just climbing and setting all these like nuts and bolts and stuff. So when he falls, those nuts and bolts need to support him, and I'm just at the bottom like shaking like crazy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it sounds like a bad time.
Yeah, it was a bad time. He's like done it to me a couple times, and I'm just like, I'm so scared. Like I'm terrified. Like I'm like probably, dude. Yeah, you're like dropping into a contest run. Your heart's beating. You're sweating and stuff. So he's put me in that position like a couple times. I'm like, what the fuck?
Are you good at listening between so there's two kind of like heart racings, you know? There's the healthy one where you're about to step out of your comfort zone. And then there's this other one that's like instinctual, that's like thousands and thousands and thousands of years of your body or being a human and you being an animal realizing that you're in danger. And, you know, there's this weird balance that you want to find between the two where one of them is actually progressing you and you're actually, you know, if you do a back 7 on a 70-foot jump, the next day maybe you're a bit scared, but you're going to do it on an 80-foot jump. And it's like you've taken the steps, you're ready to like push it to that next level. Then there's that other like eerie feeling of being like on the top of that 100-foot jump with Rasman and just being like, nah. You know what I mean? Like, but are you good at listening to that?
I think I'm better at listening at it now. I think like maybe like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I'd be just like, let's go, let's send it. But I've been like really trying to like calm myself down a little bit more and be less like so gun-ho, because I don't know, I just want to make it through the season. I want to have I want to like keep my legs. I want to keep my brain. I want to keep my whole body together more than anything. But yeah, I'm listening to that way more now. I think about that all the time. I think about it every single day, actually. I just like definitely like it doles down a little bit more. Like my first couple years in the backcountry, I was super scared of riding bigger stuff, like doing like 3 or 4 turns down a bigger face that could slide or something. But now I'm like, if it slides, like I have to ride fast and confident and smooth and get the fuck out of there. And the best way to do that is by like putting yourself in that headspace before you drop in. So I've been working on that a lot this season, and I'm definitely saying no to that 100-foot step down jump. Like I'm pretty down to hit like an 80-foot cheese wedge, but not a step down 100-foot jump that has a lot of compression and just a lot of airtime.
Well, yeah, it's about knowing your lane and trusting your gut, which clearly it seems like that's a muscle that you've been flexing, which, you know, you trying to be the best snowboarder in the world that you can be. Yeah. You know, you're learning from your mistakes and you're being like, okay, like this is how big I want to go. This is the lane I want to be in. Yeah. But like if you don't listen to your gut, it's tricky to listen. It's easier said than done though. You know what I mean? It's a lot of times I feel like afterwards, and maybe you can speak to this, I feel like I'll be in the landing, maybe a little bit tweaked or a little bit hurt, and I'm so mad at myself. And I'm just like, dude, you knew you didn't want to hit this again. The light was going. You were trying to get into that sliver. The in-run wasn't really favoring spinning right, but you're still trying to anyway. Yeah. You know, and you're like, why didn't I just not do that? Yeah. Have you learned from an example of that specifically where you're like, I'm not doing that again because I just dodged a bullet, or you just got injured?
I don't know if I like have any like experiences exactly like that, but I just know that I am not freaking Mark McMorris. I'm not gonna do a triple cork. I'm not Chris Rasman. You know, like Blake Paul's a perfect example. Like Blake Paul maybe doesn't hit the Chris Rasman 100-foot jacker, but dude, does he do the best front 3 nose in the world? And that's like how he sells his brand. And like how selling my brand maybe be more like, I'm just trying to find my lane more or less. Like I'm trying to like let my lane be free ride with freestyle aspect to it, and not like compare myself. Like I've always compared myself, and I think comparing yourself is like the worst thing you could do. And not comparing myself this year has like helped so much. I don't even know what the question was.
No, that was wicked. I love that you brought it to that, because I've seen like Sean Miskiman, somebody that's younger that we've kind of mentored over the last couple of years or a while now.
Yeah.
But I've seen him. There's these glimmers of greatness in his snowboarding. And I'll say his snowboarding is great, but the really special little nuggets are when nobody told him to do anything, and he just saw something himself, and it was like he does this one in one of the Arc'teryx films. He just does this mellow like little line, and he pops like a channel gap, kind of natty styles, and he has this other like quick like turn little flippy thing in the trees, and then he kind of nails out. I actually took a photo of it. And there's these moments of like, I'm like, oh, you're just snowboarding. Like you're inspired by your things, but then you let go of all those inspirations, which at like from 25 before, or maybe 20 and under, you really want to find the right people to look up to be mentored by, to be inspired by these right things. Yeah. So that they're kind of already hardwired in you. And then at one point you got to drop all that. Yeah. It's really hard to know when that time is, but you're like, you looked up to Jake Blauvelt. You looked up to Blake Paul. You know, you've had these influences. Yeah. And then at one point you're just like, I'm just going to ride like Keegs now. Like that's all. Yeah. And then like, I look at that, transfer gap that you did in that one movie from like, it's like one valley and then you ollie over the gap, like the runnel into that wall. I'm like, oh my God. And then there's obviously the famous slow, like nose blunt to butter, perfectly dumping your speed when you're doing the nose blunt, or else if you just would have hopped right into that front 180 to back 180, you would have went too fast. Yeah. So you had to dump your speed on your heel. It was like this beautiful thing that I don't think many would be like, oh, that's a good place to do the butter. Totally. But to you, you're like, I see that I can extract something from this.
Yeah, that butter's so funny. Like, was trying to film all day and wasn't getting shit. And then I was like, I think I'm just going to do this stupid butter thing. And then like Mason's like, go do it. I was like, okay, cool. And then I did it, and it's like the most viral shit I've ever posted. And it's like, it helped me so much on like social. And I was like, oh, this is all you have to fucking do is just like forget about your ego and like just have fun. Because that was like fun. It was like, it's not that gnarly, but it was just fun. And like, I let go of that desperation moment where I'm like, I gotta get clips. But like, I just was like, all right, I'm just gonna go fucking do this. Whatever happens is gonna happen. But yeah, I think I want to like come back to desperation in the backcountry is like the worst shit ever. Like you're like, oh, I'm desperate to get this clip on this jump. Think about it nonstop. Like, dude, that desperation's gonna make you like eat yourself alive. Like I'm like trying to like take a step back from that desperation. Be like, oh, we built this jump. It took us all day. Like I have to get a clip. Now I'm like, I don't really give a fuck. I like want to give less fucks about that, because that's just like when you get in a bad headspace and you're not riding confidently. So yeah, desperation is a bad thing in the backcountry, I think.
I like you said some sort of nugget the other day that was, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it was about, if I just don't get hurt and I have my full season, things will just come together. Mm-hmm. And a filmer, and a very credible filmer at that, a legend, Aaron Leyland, when I was filming with him for my first season full time during the King Snow movie, he said to me at the beginning of the year, because I was a little bit stressed that year, it was contract year for me, and I was like, in my head, as most people are at the beginning of the year, you want to get clips, and he was just looked at me, and he's filmed with the best of the best. Mikey Rentz, UC Oxenden, Mikkel Bang, Mark Sollers, the list goes on. Aaron Leyland, household name in filmmaking, no doubt. And he's like, Jody, just trust the process. Yeah. Just, we'll go. He loves sledding, maybe arguably more than anything, but he does love filming too. And he's like, we'll just go filming. for the whole year, and just you'll have a part, you know?
Totally.
And don't do those things, the desperation where that can be negative, you know, huge. I mean, desperation, we're pinpointing it to snowboarding, but desperation in any aspect of your life, you can see it, you know, when you're desperate for a relationship, if you're desperate for a job or whatever, you do need to have this element of like swag kind of and carry yourself like, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to care, but I'm not going to care that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you do that and you trust the process, at the end of the year, you'll have a full part and you'll be proud of that part because you'll be healthy throughout that whole part. And I think that if you ride every day, there will be opportunities that your unique snowboarding can shine on, but you won't get there if you're desperate and you hit the gap that wasn't for me, like that was never meant for you to hit.
No, just like stay in your lane. Find your lane. That's like a really hard thing to do when you're like young, I think. But like I hope I'm finding my lane, but like I think I'm finding my lane mentally and physically. So
I think that you've always I've said this at the beginning, I always say this at the end of every podcast, people are probably getting over it, but when I did the deep dive on watching all of your footage, it looks like to me you've always had this element of style and uniqueness to your riding that is very specific to you all the way back 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's really cool style. And people always say this and it's so dumb. It's in every skate podcast, snowboard podcast. I hear people say it all the time. So hard to have good style when you're tall. I'm like, I don't know what tall people you hang out with, dude, but all of my tall friends that skated, best style. All my tall friends that snowboarded growing up, best style. The tall guy right now that rides at my local hill that I grew up at, this huge guy, I forget his name, but he's always kind of repping with the skates dudes, does like switch lips to switch. He's the tallest guy in the mountain, size like 14, best style.
Yeah.
To me, that's always been kind of like you have this like really interesting style and approach all the way back from your like switchback 350s that you did like probably 10 years ago. Dude, like so like backlip pretzels, but the way that you would pretzel wouldn't be the heinous sacrifice all your style for the pretzel. It was like still. And I really think that it's like this blossoming, this sounds so cringe, but like a flower, like you've always been the same like nucleus, but now you've kind of blossomed into like this really special ability in the backcountry, and you kind of bailed on the fucking streets, eh? You had to clip an anthill, but you really turned your back on the streets. And I kind of did the same. And let me know, I'm going to tell you right now, your fan base, they're missing you in the steel. Why did you derail from the steel?
Dude.
Because you were good at the steel, dude.
I fuck with the steel. I love the steel. Like
Cheers to the steel.
Dude. I fuck with the steel heavy. I just like, I don't know. I always wanted to ride backcountry. I'd always like watch like backcountry films, like the Absent films, a bunch of those, and like watching the crazy AK lines. Like, I remember watching that shit with my dad and being like, he'd be like, skip this street shit. Like, like go straight to like the AK line. I'd be like, I don't understand what's going on. I'm too young. But yeah, like growing up in Sugarbush, Vermont, like, or Waterbury, Vermont, and then riding Sugarbush. Sugarbush is like rail mecca. It's like the Loon, Sugarbush. Those are the two resorts you kind of go to on the East Coast that are like, have some of the best rails in park. So just having that fundamental from then, and then just meeting like moving to Salt Lake, and I don't know, I just love riding rails. Anytime I get to go back to Tahoe, I'm always going back to King Vale to go ride the tow rope, like secretly. And then but I don't know why I stopped riding rails. I just
really, if you deep.
I could answer this way better. Hold on, like let me think. Like I stopped riding rails because I was sick of fucking like slamming on stairs and like fucking thinking about supports and thinking about like I got a nasty scar on my neck from a fucking post. Like you guys probably never know about it, and like I don't want to show it, but like I have like a scar right here. Like you could look it up one day. Like it's in this sessions video, and I got like pretty much almost hit my jugular. Yeah, it's crazy. So that's a crazy one. You'll probably like do some research on one day, but yeah, like that happened. You know, I've like just slamming in the streets sucks. It just sucks. Like you just like taco a rail, break your arm, fall on your ass, break your tailbone. Like everything's hard. There's no forgiving. There's also, I like being in the mountains, and I do want to film street again. I really do. But like right now, like I did my 3 years in the street. This is going to be my 4th year in the backcountry. And I want to like kind of make a transition, hopefully one day, to have like a versatile part. But I need to like, I'm trying to master it. I'm trying to master like hitting a backcountry jump, filming in Whistler, filming in Tahoe, and then being like, oh, I'm going to go to Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? Like that's the shit I want to do, but I'm just kind of waiting for that like call. I'm not like gonna like, I'm going to spend my budget on filming backcountry. But if like the Swarm Rome dudes hit me up and they're like, Derek Lemke's like, yo, you want to come like hit a 2-week trip? I'm like, fuck yeah. Like I'm saying it now, but like I don't want anyone to know. Like I want this to be a secret. So then like when it comes out, but like
saying
I'm like
it on a podcast,
saying it on a podcast. But like
yo, Derek, call this homie too.
Dude, well, like it's, I don't know. It's like they're seeing a people. I'm doing my thing. Like one day it's gonna come around. But I'm just not like gonna.
You're 26.
26, yeah.
I went full backcountry for probably 3-4 years. Went back to the steel for a year. 2 more years backcountry, back to the steel.
Yeah.
1 more year backcountry, back to the steel, and now I haven't been back to the steel in 2+ years now.
Good for you.
But I'm just saying it kind of flows. And I love that you said that you wanted to like, backcountry is this really interesting thing where I think it is beneficial to, if you can get guidance and mentorship from people like Eric Jackson and Chris Rasman.
Yeah.
There's so many really important, crucial elements to snowboarding that can only really be taught like in the mountains when it's face to face, and you can digest it in real time when you're actually there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one thing to flip through a magazine, go to an avalanche course. It's another thing to be out there with the knowledge from that avalanche course and to be looking at a face with Rasman and Ejak, discuss the face, discuss the train trap, you know, where the slough might go. Totally. And then be like, you know, we're not going to ride it today based off of the intel that we have or whatever. But that data as a group, and to get that mentorship, like extract as much as you can from those people, excel in the backcountry. And then when you go to Pittsburgh with Derek freaking Lemke, that kid is so sick, dude.
Derek.
Swarm was a bang. That movie is really good. And you got a favorite clip from Derek Lemke? Because I know you're such a steel guy.
Probably. I really like his cab too. He does on this DFD, and he just like, it's like dumping snow, and it's just so raw. And he's just, I don't know, his music. And I'm just like a big Derek fan in general, because actually he like moved to Tahoe to snowboard at Boreal with this like local program. So like we just like been snowboarding since like probably like 16, 17, 18. So, and then he like moved away, went back to Michigan. And then I was like, dude, we got to get this kid Derek. And then like, of course, his name holds so much at that point, like a year ago, that it was a no-brainer to put him on. And he was like good friends with this guy, Drake Warner. So it's just like kind of tying all that together. And Derek is just like so talented and nice and cool and like level-headed. And there's not a lot of people like that in this industry sometimes. So, but there is. Just got to find them. They're out there. But I fuck with Derek heavy. Big shouts on that guy.
Yeah, he's the sickest, dude. As soon as, like, I've obviously known the name. That last part, though, and I'm a sucker for switchboard slides. And he switched board slides like right in the middle, and it's like, if you know, you know, but like it's a buck kink, you know, it's down, flat. And he's like perfectly in the middle. And then there's obviously the board slide around that, the never ending board slide.
Yeah.
Where most snowboarders I know, including myself, would go, why would I want to hit this kink that doesn't really end? You know, there's no nice way to come off the end.
No.
So he just kind of keeps board sliding, and the 1% chance that he could come out of that with some stee and make all that look good, he did it.
Dude, he's such a wizard. I don't get it. He's always been a wizard. Like, he used to like compete too and like do front tens and shit and like.
Oh, he's got it like that on the jumps too.
He's got it like that too. Like,
he's like a Justin Fronius.
Yeah, he's got front tens. He's got like a switchback 9. He's got. Maybe not a back 10. Maybe he has done a back 10, but.
You gotta love the steel kids that can chalk up the jumps. You know what I mean? Like, damn.
He's so talented. It's like crazy, and he's like, you know, there's the Dylan Okarowskis who are fucking the best rail riders in the world, and Derek Lemke's and Cooper Whittier's. Like, those guys are like the new, not like they're not Jed Anderson, but like they're Jed Anderson level.
Yeah, but Jed Anderson is like the equivalent of
Michael Jordan of like
Michael
like,
Jordan.
Michael Jordan of the street snowboard.
I don't know, like Andrew Reynolds or like you know what I mean? I don't even know. Like,
that's a better comparison.
Or a Brian Herman. I don't even know because he's still going. Like, I don't think a lot of people just realize like the greatness from some of the people from my generation, because the generation before mine, a lot of them I think had a lot left in the tank, but the psychology around continuing wasn't there. It was very like, you're 35, you cannot keep going. It's over. Like, give up.
Yeah.
Then you see people like Gigi, who you've ridden with, be like, no, I'm going to keep going. And maybe speaking on that specifically, Gigi, I mean, Jed, who's absolutely incredible. Lewiff's still going. I mean, Matt Belzil, who you've filmed with last year, 2 kids chalking up cab 9s like it's not a thing. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many older, great snowboarders who are continuing right now. John Jackson, you know, the list goes on. What snowboarders right now, maybe a list of backcountry and a list of rails, are really influencing your style, your approach in today's world?
Right now, definitely for backcountry riders, like if I could name like 3 of them, you know, like super big fan of Blake Muller's snowboarding. I'm a super big fan of John Jay snowboarding, and I'm a super big fan of like Nicholas Miller snowboarding. Cause like, I don't know, you got like, they're all more like riding lines freestyle-y, and like they got the tricks. Like John Jay's done back 10s over big jumps and done everything you think of, and then it's just like, you know, Blake's like working in like front 7s over exposure or something, and you're just like, what the fuck? And then Nicholas Mueller's just style god. You know, Nicholas, Gigi, but I'm really big fan of Nicholas, to be honest.
I think it's almost impossible to put into words how great Nicholas is at snowboarding, because there has been 0 individuals who have touched his ability to ride the mountains in the way the mountain should be ridden. Yeah. Like, for sure, you got your greats like Travis, John, Gigi, Terrier, you know, different time zones, Craig Kelly. You have this whole group of like Blavelt, you know, of the top, the best of the best, Kazu. There's a list of like 10 people who are kind of floating around there. Yeah. But when you watch a lot of Nicholas parts, and you like, some years he had 7 minutes of raw footage, you know what I mean? Or if not more, over a 20-year period. And I just don't know if maybe in the future at one point we'll see somebody do that, but I really think it was something truly remarkable to watch. And I think every one of us who's listening to this right now, who's ever seen a Nicholas Mueller part, when it came out live, there was something so special to that part, and we all took it for granted, expecting that, another person will pop up that can ride the mountains like that. And now that he's not really filming video parts, you're like, that wasn't just a normal thing. That was an abnormal talent to the mountains. Like, I mean, he rides down the mountain. He's flowing. Everyone talks about flow and style and reading terrain and being a marble and trying to ride like Bruce fucking Lee. It's like, dude, that was Nicholas. It's still Nicholas, and nobody has taken his spot.
No one's taken his spot. But I will say like Blavelt's a huge inspo.
Blavel was close.
Blavel was close. He's
in the part.
He's in that. He's in the category.
Club. He's in the club.
He's in that top 10.
He's got a gold jacket for sure.
Gold jacket for sure. But like, I don't know. Like, for like street riders, I would say like, you got Riley Nickerson. I'm a big fan of him because he's a tall guy.
Love his style.
LeWiff, and probably like Cooper Whittier, to be honest. Like, Cooper Whittier's pretty fucking raw.
He just got on Rome.
And like, I'm stoked. That's like good for me. That's like really good for me because he's like one of my homies since 12 years old, 13 years old.
Dang.
Like I've known those kids for like so long, just like going to like little contests on the East Coast and like just running into them. So those guys are just like, I'm a big fan of Cooper. It's kind of like the coolest street snowboarder I think right now. Like Robbie Meehan, big fan of him. Cooper or Cody Warble, dude. I'm like a big fan of the box. Like I'm a big fan. Like I like Cody Warble and like Noah.
I am a huge fan.
Yeah,
and it's not even because I'm trying to jump on the bandwagon. It's
totally.
I've digested so much snowboarding, and when Dustbox first came out, it was different. Yeah. It was a close group of friends that were doing something that really spoke to what they were into. Yeah. And they all slightly had a different approach, and it was a home run. I watched even the last one, although it was short and it wasn't as hammer as far as like quality of clips, which is no shot. Like, dude, once you get to 24 years old and you get $3,000 a month and you're in school full time and totally. You tacoed a couple kink rails, you're like, dude, those guys they did it. They came to snowboarding. Yeah. Anyone who was in those 3 films for Dustbox came in, made a huge mark, and can just pat themselves on the back because if they did snowboarding proper. Totally. They made it look cool. They made it look dope. They inspired. There's this new kid that I've been hanging out with. I just met him in Jackson Hole at the Kings and Queens Roadrunner. Roadrunner Productions, Cole.
I think I've seen that.
He's like 19 years old. Anyways, his whole influence is Dustbox. And hearing him talk about that, you're like, that's so cool that this kid, if Dustbox never filmed, maybe would have never found snowboarding. And I hung out with him for about a week. He's a really cool kid. He loves snowboarding now. And it's like, it's cool when somebody starts something that's so them, and then they bring in a new community to snowboarding that might have never found snowboarding without that group starting it, Totally. Which is wicked. So yeah, big fan of the box too.
Big fan of the box.
Is that what the kids that are in that community call it? The box? Is it abbreviated?
I don't even really know.
It just might be a you thing.
It's just like it could be Dustbox, box. I don't know, but it's just they're just all homies, and that's cool to me. Like that's super cool. Like they're all super tight. Go to Salt Lake. Talking, hanging out with, like, I know Justin's not like part of the box, but he kind of is part of the box. Justin Phipps, but like stay at his house and the whole entire box comes over and we're just like hanging out, drinking beers on their stoop. Everyone's just playing Xbox and just like still like, oh, I got a job down here working for Solomon selling shoes now. But like I still come to this house and I still shoot the shit with all my best friends, which I just like, that runs deep with me, I think.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of friend groups where you aren't, I don't know how to say this exactly, but like You know, you need a well-rounded friend group. If your whole friend group is just like elitist people or in any shape or form, you know, I only hang out with people who are the best because I need to be surrounded by people who motivate me to win at this game of life. I'm like, geez, like why can't you get inspired by the person who's able to turn off and just be chill? You know what I mean? Like I like a well-rounded friend group, you know?
Yeah.
For sure. Have somebody that's like great at business. Have somebody that's like your spiritual friend or one of your friends who's incredible. Like Razman's super good at looking at whenever you have some bullshit going on in your life, he looks at it really unbiasedly. So and I really like that type of friendship because he's not trying to pick sides. He's just like, this is how I would interpret it or whatever.
Totally.
And like finding a well-rounded friend group is super awesome. But when you will not be friends with the plumber or the electrician or the, you know what I mean? Because you only roll with bankers or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Dude, fuck your group.
Yeah, maybe the labeling gets a little like, you know, like they're definitely pretty cool dudes, but that's okay. They like gained each other's confidence in being cool to each, or like being friends. You know, like I keep my shit tight. I keep my circle tight. Like I'm not like, yeah, I'm trying to make new friends all the time, but like if I don't like you, I don't want to fucking be around you in a way. If I don't want to be like harsh or anything, but like they like each other and they're friends with each other because they rock with each other. Like that's why I fucking rock with Blake and Mason so heavy and McCarthy and like those guys are my dogs. Like I'm never gonna like let that go. So I think that's just like big for me.
Well, there's two types of people in this world. There's people that you like, then there's people you'd go on vacation with.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No, like
yeah.
that's the thing. Like I like to like or be nice to everybody because life is hard enough. Why would I project some sort of fucking shitty attitude?
Yeah.
Obviously, sometimes in a rush, I'm stressed out. I could be short with you. I'm sorry. There's one thing I heard the other day, which was incredible, is like somebody out there is like, dude, Keegan is a fucking dick and he's a loser and I hate him. All the way to somebody out there met you on a bus one time and you helped them out and they think you're the greatest guy to ever walk the earth. There's based on these like super small moments you have with people, which is all you have. Like sometimes some guy probably met me one time when I was in a parking lot swearing, you know what I mean? And I just had a bad day, you know? And they're like, that Jody guy's crazy. He pulled out of a parking lot all aggressive and was fucking mad at the world. And I was like, you know what? That day I was mad at the world.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I do agree. I kind of derailed there that it is very nice to be rocking with a crew that complements each other. You know what I mean?
Totally.
With that, it's hard to find. It's not easy. It's not easy to find friendship. It's not easy to find good friends. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of acquaintances that you will acquire over your life. And sometimes these great friendships that you had at 17 or 21 or 30 years old, you got to put on ice for a bit, you know? Which is fine as long as you never remove that friendship for like no real reason. But there's sometimes that you need to like pull towards some people in your life and sometimes you need to pull away from some people. And away doesn't mean that the friendship is over. It just means that you needed to distance yourself for your own whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
you have things that you're working on in your own head that nobody sometimes will understand, and there's time and a place where you're like, I just can't be around this person for whatever reason, and they don't even need to understand that.
Yeah.
Maybe communicate that, but you know.
I kind of have a good little like blurb on that one, I think.
Shoot.
Like I've like been filming with Blake for the last like 3 years in the backcountry. We're just like, it's just me and him, yada yada, doing this and that, and I'm pretty glad we got a little bit of a break. You know, it's like it's kind of refreshing. You know, like it's refreshing to like do something new, take a break from someone, try a new way of doing things. And like now I'm excited to come link back up with him and be like, this is how we do it, or like this is how I learned how to do it. And like I think like, you know, like I would rather film with Blake nonstop, but I don't want to keep talking about him. But like I'm just saying, like it's good to just get another perspective and like link with other people and like see how it's done their way rather than doing it the way you've been doing it for the last 4 years, 3 years.
Because if you never did that, you'd still be in Sugarbush getting coached by Aaron Blatt. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Eventually, you need to step out of your circles and meet new circles.
Yeah.
And it's not like meeting new people who inspire you is a really cool thing because it doesn't necessarily need to end. You know what I mean? Like, I like keeping my circle tight too. You know what I mean? I probably got my 10 closest friends that I've been friends with for a long time.
Yeah.
Some of them live back in Winnipeg, and one of them works at a grain company. The other one is an addicted gambler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I got a couple of those too.
One of my friends works at a hydro company, and it's like these people are never going to go anywhere. And even if I don't hang out with them for 5 years, 10 years, it doesn't really matter how much time is in between us. Like sometimes I'm like, man, I really miss like my day one homies, but we both, without ever having to say it, we both know that us like doing our own thing, it was beneficial for both parties. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Which it's no shot at your friendship, you know what I mean? But sometimes in order to grow, you need to be away from that person. Like, the best, you getting mentored.
Mason, Blake, it could be.
Totally.
It could be anyone I started filming with. It could be like a Bride and Bully. Like it could be Denver or like.
Dude, and they're all
Miles,
legends.
And they're all legends and great people. But it's like, dude, everyone's got to take their own path. You got to walk your own road.
You got to walk your own road, man. Sometimes you get off that road and you're like, fuck, where's Denver?
I need Denver. But like, dude, it's just cool to see actually how all my friends have just like, we're all getting to a certain age. We're like 25, 26, and we're like all starting to like kind of make a breakthrough in a way. And it's like, you think about that when you're 21 years old, you're like, holy fuck, I got a lot of years to get under my belt before any of this shit happens. So I don't know. I'm pretty blessed by the group I've had surrounding me. So psyched on that.
That's super sick. Especially that you kind of mentioned there that like some of them are starting to do well at whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a super important part about being a good friend is actually like, if your friend's doing good, like kind of celebrate that with them. You know what I mean? Like it is, I think that a lot of times a simple like, hey, like if Denver or whoever, you mentioned a bunch of people there, filmmakers, if they are doing well at their craft or at least doing pretty good at it, like shoot them a compliment every once in a while. Cause you don't know if that person's on the fence of like quitting, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Their thing. Like for me, for example, the only reason why airtime has continued is from the random message from the random homie or somebody on Patreon that's literally like, yo, I like what you're doing. Keep going. And I have my head, like I'm about to pull my hair out. It's like, you're day 4 in a row with no clips and the clouds are lurking over. You haven't landed anything. If somebody goes like, yo, Keegs, that butter clip kind of fired me up, dude. You got to film another one of those these days. And you're like, fucking sick, dude. Like, no way. I got Jed Anderson texted me that he liked my butter.
You're like, that would be such a sick DM. Waiting for that T Rice and T Rice follow. Hopefully one day.
T Ricky still doesn't follow me. I've been judging NST for fucking five or six. I don't know if it's a running joke because he's got like this thing with me. Like, I'm not sure if like, I'm like, does he know who I am? It's kind of like, when you go to camp for a long time and then it's like your year 7 at camp and you're like, you like work at the camp and the person that owns the camp doesn't know your name and you're like, how do you not know my name? I've been working at this camp for like 7 years. That's kind of how I feel right now with Travis because I know like we see each other, we give each other hugs. He doesn't follow me or anything, which is totally fine because the longer that lasts, the more I'm kind of like, dude, I gotta earn that stripe.
Yeah,
I gotta earn that stripe. And do you know who wants to be friends with Travis Rice and be like, Travis follow is everybody, not me. I'm not worried about it. Our friendship is gonna blossom organically, and one day I'm gonna be naturally friends with Travis Rice.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it's not meant to be. You know what
exactly.
I mean? Me and Travis were never meant to be social media buddies.
Yeah, I don't really care. You know what I mean? I don't care. Like I did care a lot more, but now I just like don't care because.
Well, you don't not care at all.
What?
That is tough for me to believe. Is like you don't.
Oh, I care a lot.
Yeah,
I care a lot, but not like caring on that fact. Like I just like give up.
Yeah.
Like it's like whatever, who cares at this point? Like I'm gonna go snowboard the way I want to snowboard and do my things, and if he sees it in person one day, he'll be super stoked, or he might not be really stoked. You never
Dude,
know.
he needs to see your timeline like I just saw, because I mean,
You
if
saw
he's-
I haven't even seen that.
dude, I have.
You have?
I mean,
Wow.
I probably watched. I would argue that nobody has watched all of your footage in a row. Oh, you know what I mean?
Oh.
Everything. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's
like
why
my
it's always a
whole-
cool thing when I do these podcasts, is because everybody that you know, this is like another, it's like a bigger metaphor for everything.
Mhm.
Everybody in life has done way more than you realize. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the business that you're seeing, anybody who's doing anything, like the amount of work and time and grind you've already done in snowboarding, and you're finally kind of getting your shine, you know what I mean? And you're hoping to go to NST. It's like, dude, like you've been chalking up parts for, like, when did you start filming your first real part? 8 years ago?
No, maybe not like 8 years ago.
7?
Kind of like maybe like when I was 19, like my first like little video I put out on the internet.
So 6 years.
6 years, yeah, like 6 years, and then like I did like 2 years in the streets super heavily for Flyaway Closer, or for How Dark Blue Feels and Flyaway Closer, and then it was like straight to the backcountry. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 video parts right now.
How Dark Blue Feels, is that the cab over 270
Yeah.
to
yeah.
back tail? That was
Yeah, when I'm like
hot.
all blind and stuff.
Dude, the flavor on that clip cannot be taught.
Yeah, thank you.
Who is the style idol for snowboarding at that point? Not the young kid style, not right now, but the rails at that point of your life, because the flavor on that was very unique to.
I think it was like, I'm pretty big. I was a big fan of Schubert back in the day.
Yeah,
for
it had some
sure.
Spence vibes to it. I
I'm-
could see that.
I'm a big fan of like Schubert's street snowboarding. I'm a big fan of like,
How could you
Lewef.
not be?
yeah, Lewif. Like Lewif was sick. Like he's doing Cab Hardway 2s nonstop. Like he's got, I don't know, like in Encore, I think he does like a super sick one. He
Oh, the
gaps-
super long one.
Yeah, the super long one, and I've always wanted to do that. So
Frank the Tank had a sick front 2.7 to switch on that right after.
yeah,
That session, if you were I think Hayden filmed those clips, but like, imagine walking home with a cab over 270, perfect to regular from Lewif, and a front 2.7 to switch from Frank April. You're like,
with stairs.
good day.
Yeah, stairs in the inside, another rail too. Like, yeah, just those guys are really fucking good.
Okay, because we come from the streets,
Mm-hmm.
you know? What's a rail trick you don't fuck with?
A rail trick that I don't fuck with. Yeah, I can't really do nose presses. I can't do a nose press. Like I could do them, but they're not good. Like if you want me to do one on a DFD, like I'm not doing it. Like I'm not. Maybe like I can't do a switch nose press that good, or like a front one switch nose press. Like there's no way I'm doing that.
So you don't fuck with that trick, or you just don't do it? Like, is there a trick that you don't like?
I don't like doing it, but the trick I do not like to see is probably not a big fan of. I'm kind of a fan, like, I don't know, swivels are whack, but like, I'm kind of a fan of whatever Jibber's been doing. Have you been seeing that one Jibber from Minnesota who's on that Rome board? I forget his name. Mids for the kids.
Oh my God, take my money.
Yeah, like the thing about it is that he's doing all these tricks with style, and like he's all slobbed out and like looking amazing, and like
What were his last couple clips that he did?
I don't know, but he did like hard way back 3, put his toes into the rail, and then front 3'd out. And I usually think that trick looks super ugly, but he made it look so good. It just depends on the snowboarder. To me, a lot of snowboarders are not that sick at snowboarding, or a lot of them are like, oh, that's a crazy take. Maybe take that one out. But like,
No way, dude. We're keeping that. I agree.
but like, there's a lot
It's
of people.
hard to bang. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's hard to have that, like, the juice. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
But that's what makes it special, because for you, that juice is going to be fucking awesome,
Yeah.
but different to me. You know what I mean? Like, you might be like, you know, that is the sickest back 7 I've ever seen, and I might be like, nah, that ain't it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That ain't it. So I just it just depends on the rider, to be honest. Like a rider can do anything, all the tricks in the world, but if it doesn't look good or it doesn't like applause me, like I don't really like it at all. Like if someone could do a cab 3 nose press or cab 3 switch nose press and do a switchback 1 off, and like Cooper Whittier did it and he did it all proper, I'd be so down. But if it was like, I'm not even gonna name any names, but
Yeah, I know what you mean.
but like it just, people do things proper and you watch it right away and you know it's proper. And a lot of people cheat and they're like, and it just doesn't look good. They're just sort of like trying to get away with it and they can't.
Well, flavor can't be bought or taught. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
it
just
can't be
like
bought or taught.
you either ride away from a feature and your hand goes a little bit up over your face on the ride away for no real reason, but like for me, growing up really young, there was this kid named Jonas Machilo. I might be butchering his name from Minnesota.
Yeah.
And there was just something about his style that was just different and nobody really rode like him. And I feel like there was like a cult following. It's kind of like there was another guy named why am I drawing his blank? Something Ricky Tucker. So Ricky Tucker was another one that like he had a cult following, and if you knew, you knew, and he had like this style that like some people would be like, what do you mean? Like it's not that sick. And it's like to the people that were into it, they were like, if you don't think this is sick, you're an idiot. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, like you don't know what snowboarding is. Like you don't know what style is. Like get out of this room.
Do you know what clip kind of banged? This is random. We're shooting the shit here. The back 7 that you did in curveball with the dunky weird access Indy. That one was interesting to me because I don't think anyone's ever done a back 7 like that before. Normally, I'm pretty good at being like, that back 7 looks like that one to me. The access, the poke, it was like, I'm like, is that Danny Davis? Like, who's like, I didn't like it was that intentional, the roll?
I think I just like went on a trip before that with Rome to Europe, and I did a back 7 Indy. And it just like the shot didn't come out that great. And then I went to Tahoe with like Hupp and Blake, and we were filming for that curveball video, and the lip of our takeoff, like that crew don't shovel. We don't shovel. Like we don't shovel too much. But like
what does that mean?
Like we just like when we're building a jump, we just like throw it up there real quick and it looks good, pat it down, and it's like it's time to go. And so like I think the jump was just super poppy. And as soon as I sunk my toe edge into it, I just like let the Indy grab just like grab it and just like rolled it around, and it was just a miracle that it just like kind of came together. So, but yeah, big fan of that clip. I was super psyched on that day. I was like, oh my God, I finally got a fucking good clip. Yeah, and that was like 2 years ago too. So I was sitting on that for 2 years. I was like, that thing needs to hit the light of day one day.
Nothing like driving home when you get a good clip. You know what I mean?
Man, it's
the
the
drive
best.
Home when you get a clip.
Oh my God, I won't lie. Like I got one the other day, and I was just like, dude, this is so sick. Like I like this feeling is awesome. Like I'm doing my job. I'm having fun. We're safe. Snow's stable. Like I'm staying at Tom's house in Pemberton, and like I have my own room. It's just like everything is just so all good right now. It's awesome.
That's such an important part of this life chapter is when it all comes together, like that moment when you're driving home.
Yeah.
To just cherish that.
Yeah.
Because the next day, how unpredictable life is, it can be very different.
Yeah, and like the low that you get from those clips sometimes, you're like you're on such a high from the clip, and then you go out the next day, and you're like, oh my God, like you're on a lower, you're like feeling low, and then you get ramped back up because you see someone do something fucking crazy. You're like, oh fuck, I want to do something fucking crazy too, and like that competition edge is like, it's like healthy. I think, in a way too.
Dude, it's like getting up the next day, you start your truck, it's broken, and then your sled blows up, ragdoll, separate your shoulder, open your Instagram, ex-girlfriend's dating your best friend. You're like, oh, fuck, today sucks.
Dude, that shit will...
Food poisoning later that evening.
Dude, all that shit will tick you off.
At
so
Tom's
much.
house, his girlfriend comes over. You're in the bathroom. She's like, can I come in there? You've been in there for a while.
I know. I'm so blessed with Tom's whole situation and his housing situation. And his girlfriend's so sweet and nice for letting me just like come crash. Like, I'm like buying him groceries every night, like trying to bring food home, making sure every time I take a shit in the toilet there's no marks or something. Or like, I don't know. It's just like, just really trying to cover my bases on that one.
Sounds like you're growing up, man.
Yeah, I know it's like growing up.
I scrape the bowl of the shit now, and if I'm staying at someone's house, I contribute to the groceries.
Totally. I'm like, oh, I gotta pay him rent. Like for my 2 or 3 weeks, I'll be there, and like,
dude, a good house guest is that's important.
It's super important, especially for my like, I don't know, like I need to figure out a new house on the 28th, so. Anyone out there who has a suite, please hit me up. Like I need to like get into something because I'm having a lot of fun. I want to stay here.
Do you know who might be coming to town who rides for Rome? And you mentioned you went on a European trip. Is I think Stale and Torgi are coming in. And maybe you can just tell Stale he needs to have you because you're on Rome.
Maybe I should do that. I should do that. I should just call
Stale, you've done really well. You're very successful. I'm also on Rome, and I'm going to stay with you.
And I'm very unsuccessful compared to you. But can I please stay with you? But, dude, yeah. I actually didn't know he was coming. I, like, kind of knew he was coming to town, but I just, like, was like, when is he coming to town? You know, he's got NST. You know, I'm on a different group program. So, but, yeah, that's a good idea. I got a couple options. I've been trying to figure it out. So... But I would just be so stoked to stay like with a Raibu and I just get a house for a month and just go crazy. Like Mason Jar sleeping on the couch every night, downtown Whistler. Like, oh man, that sounds like a bad idea. But
I don't think you make enough money to rent a place here in Whistler downtown.
No,
Whistler.
There's no way. I was like looking at it this morning. I was like, dude, there's no way I'm spending my travel budget on this shit right now.
You could probably get a 2-bedroom for like $7,000 a month, maybe a bit more. This time of the year, like last minute, I don't know.
So last minute, but yeah, that tour gear Stale idea is a good idea, and we'll see.
We'll figure out a rooming situation a little bit later, but maybe to pivot a little bit, you did get to film with Stale. How was it like working with Stale? Was that a first time?
Kind of, yeah. It was like a first time. I could kind of make a comparison between like the two personalities, like film with Gigi, and then I film with Stale. And they're both like little kids with lots of energy. And I'm like, damn, these are like two of the most legendary dudes in this industry, this sport, and just like super athletic. And that is like something I took away from them a lot. They're just like little kids, and they're like, Stale's like 32 or something, and Gigi's like 43 or 45. I have no idea. But dude, he acts like a little fucking kid, and I'm like, damn, he's having more fun than me, and I'm 25. I'm 26 years old, and he's like 45 years old and fucking having fun on this shitty Baker Day or something. And Stale has that same energy, and he's just so talented, like adjusting the way I'm like taking off on the jump, and then I do it, and I'm like, oh, I just landed. But yeah, he's definitely got like, Stale's got great advice. He's a fun hang, positive, talented, and just like supported me my whole entire time with Rome. Big fan of him too, so I was like kind of geeking out, like scared to talk to him and like be myself and like let it go. So, but yeah, I got mad respect for Stale. He's helped me a lot.
What a tragic thing that you said there, that like they both embody and carry this thing that we all get stripped away, which is like this like kid-like play thing.
Yeah.
Me specifically, I've seen that like over the years. I'm good at being more childish when I'm out of the house, but when I'm in my house alone, wife's out of the house, I find myself so like serious and focused, and I get like so frustrated at myself to not like accomplish what I want to accomplish in a day, and I'm trying my best, but it's like fucking hard, and I'm hard on myself, and I'm like, fuck, I hope that the projection that Stale and Gigi give off, similar to me, is like maybe something that maybe they have that magic even when they're alone. You know what I mean? Because It sucks how like when you get older, you just kind of lose that like kid-like play fun thing. I mean, you see that shit on the Instagram all the time with like dumb reels and stuff, but it's kind of true. Like if you can just be a little bit lighter, like one day you're going to disappear off the planet. It's going to happen pretty fast. And it's like, would be nice to know that like even the time when you're alone, you're just a little bit, I think everybody could be 20 to 25% lighter on themselves.
For sure. I don't think I'm like too light on myself, but definitely very hard on myself. But
that hardness, do you feel like that slightly motivates you sometimes, and there is like a dance to that? I feel like
there's a dance to it. There's a total dance. Like the last couple of years, I've been so fucking like this year. I have a whole point of not yelling in the landing after I don't land.
I fuck with that.
Like I'm like seriously, like I'm really trying not to do that. Like if I like, we'll see if it happens. It's not happening. I'm not even gonna say it. But
were you a screamer if you didn't land before?
Fuck yeah, dude. I'd be like, fuck, like ripping that big time, like in the landing, like, but like now that, I don't know, like when you're with a dialed crew, you get more opportunity. So you're not like stressing over that one jump session that you finally get to hit that one big jump. Like last year is a perfect example, actually. Like the weather was really bad here in Whistler, and we were waiting in the clouds, and it was just like snowing, and you could only go to like the pillow zones and stuff. And the one day it cracks, we go to hit Man Boy Gap, and we build it up, and I'm like so excited. I'm like, thank God we're finally hitting a big ass jump. I've been waiting for this moment. And then the moment comes, and like it doesn't line up that good. We make it a little too poppy and stuff. The landing's too steep and short. And I'm like, God fucking damn it. I'm just like losing it. But that losing it is like not helping me for my next drop. That like all that like pent up like energy and anxiety and negativity, like it's just actually kind of hurting me for my next drop. And I'm like really trying not to do that this year, because that shit just like eats me alive at least. I don't know if it helps other people, but maybe just like keep it to yourself and let that fire inside just drive you with more positive thoughts. Because I just like let those negative thoughts like filter in like crazy, but I'm gonna try to let that go as much as possible. Yeah, focus on that. At your age, the one thing that you can do, my advice to you is you want to be like 40% hard on yourself, so it's like progression, but the balance needs to be slightly more in favor for positivity. Yeah. Like where like if it's running 60% negative, like if you are not hard on yourself or critical on yourself at all, then you'll do a front three, kind of grab indie weird and be happy with it. You know what I mean? You don't want to be running like that. No. You want to be a little bit like, go bigger, pop better. You can do this back seven a bit bigger and a little bit deeper. But you also need to be like, if it doesn't happen, be like, I'll get it tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a good case study for a career that could have been much more if I had only learned about self-talk and stuff at a younger age, which I'm learning now. Even Rasman texted me after sledding the other day. Or maybe he said it to me in person in the parking lot, but he was like, dude, remember, speak nicer to yourself when you're snowboarding. And I didn't tell him this, but I was like, that's already hardwired, brother. What I'm trying to not do now is project that to any of my relationship or my business. Like airtime is a thing where I've started to pivot and be a little bit more like proud of it. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have all the answers. Totally. It might not be perfect right now, but it's going to be fucking sick because I care about snowboarding and I come from snowboarding and I love snowboarding and it is snowboarding, so I'm like, it can't suck, but you know what I mean? It's not going to be for everybody, but the snowboarding specific aspect for me,
I was just hard on myself, and it was super counterproductive. And I don't think it was beneficial to me filming my best parts or doing whatever. You know what I mean? Like when you're getting home after a shitty day, and then you sit in the shower and you're negative. You get out of the shower, your partner talks to you, you're negative for the rest of the night, you get up miserable. That's like, you cannot live like that. And I know the contest riders, and I know the athletes, and I know a lot of Olympians and stuff do this, where you're allowed a pout session for a certain amount of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You knuckle the jump, you blow your run, you're allowed to be mad for 2 hours, let's say.
Totally.
Or 1 hour or 4 hours or whatever that is, a small time frame where you're allowed to bitch, complain, be an asshole, kick the dirt on the ground, but then you got to pivot, you know?
Gotta pivot.
And the faster that you can pivot, the faster you're getting on with life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When something's already happened and it is a concrete result, trying to change that is impossible. So fucking move on. You know what I mean? Like, and I was pretty bad at moving on. I'd be like, you know, just beat myself up because I didn't get X, Y, and Z, you know, which was counterproductive. So don't do that, everybody.
Yeah,
Learn from my mistake.
I kind of take that, like, if you're a young kid, like, listening to this shit, like, just, like, talk nicely to yourself, because that shit will put you in a hole. And, like, when I was competing, like, slopestyle, when I was, like, 17, 18, like, the comparison, talking shit on yourself, and, like, dude, that is not helping you at all. It's actually, like, dragging you down. And, like, yeah, even, like, 2 days ago, we hit a jump, and Razman's like, dude, just, like, adjust yourself off the lip and, like, talk nicely to yourself. And instead of, like, because he's like, I'm like, becoming friends with him. But, like, if, like, someone like Blake said that to me, I'd be like, fuck off. Like, I know what I'm fucking doing. But, like, because someone he's, like, older and wiser and, like, has that point of view and been in that position, it just, like, hit a little harder. And I just talk nicely to yourself and believe in, like, what you want to do, because it will happen if you want to make it happen. But fucking get it done. Get it done. You got to get it done. You can't, like, sit there and just, like, be like, all right, they're going to sled me to the top. I don't know where I'm going with this one.
60-40, though, I will say, on just to jump back in on my own notes here, that, like, from what you just said there, I think it is important to, you can criticize yourself, but being self-destructive with your own words is different. Saying something like, oh, come on, Jody, you can go bigger than that. Come on, Keegan, you got this. You do back sevens all the time.
Totally.
What are you doing? Why are you drifting? Get back up there. Do it better.
Yeah.
That's you being critical of yourself, you know, but it's in a way that is like, there is a positive twist to it, where saying, Keegan, you're a fucking loser. What the fuck did you do? You should be dropped by everybody. You suck. You fucking suck. Like, and then that is not helpful.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
not
mean?
helpful.
And then the
But that
science
happens.
behind your brain not knowing the difference is so evident now that it's like, it's really bad. You know what I mean? So like, if you do that, then you probably do that in other elements of your life, you know, whatever it is, what other habits that you have that you're not the best at. And then you turn into somebody who beats yourself up 24/7. And that is not a beneficial way to move through life. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Back.
it's like such a good life, like, lesson to go into everything with now. Like, dude, I would, like, get bummed, be like, oh, I gotta work another fucking year of construction. Like, I didn't land this fucking one trick. I'm, like, punching my head, you know, like, I'm losing it because I'm like, fuck, I gotta, like, die on the job site this summer. But, like, dude, like, if I didn't go through that, I would never know it now. So, pretty stoked to know it now.
Dude, I love this conversation because it's so true that, like, dude, you gotta be in that straight gutter some years. And some people are like, it's miserable and it fucking sucks, but every human on this planet is gonna be in that position.
Totally.
If you haven't been there yet, you're gonna be there, and you're gonna be there again. And it's about digging yourself up. And the faster you become equipped with digging yourself out of those holes and not saying things or doing things that put you in the hole as deep, are like, fucking, that's productivity right there. And speaking to yourself negatively is a great one. And fuck, this is a huge one too, is like, if you are single right now, this is my 2 cents. Pick somebody who is positive to be around, because then it just lightens the load a little bit. I was already a little bit negative. My partner is positive. That really has helped me be like, whoa, like, she's positive. Look what that does. She glass half empty 24/7 or half full. Sorry. Always looking at things like, you know, we lose our luggage at an airport. You know what I mean? Fucking, you lose X, Y, and Z. It's raining outside. We're in Hawaii. It's supposed to be Bluebird, you know, whatever. And it's like always, well, it's raining out. Who doesn't want to listen to this kind of music in the rain? And it's like, you know, there's always a way to put a positive twist on it.
Totally. It's
You know
just
what I
like
mean?
your point of view is like crucial. Like, I remember being in Brandywine last year and it sucked, and you're just like looking at Forum Step Down and you're like, this is so sick, but we can't do shit with this. But then I think about it, I'm like, oh, all my friends are like working construction or in an office fucking making spreadsheets, and I'm out here on my sled with fucking Simone and Blake and Hup on top of Forum Step Down, just chilling, like hanging out, like just like hanging out. So I just like, I'm psyched and count my blessings for being, that's my office, and like, don't forget it, because I could be swinging a hammer or freaking making a spreadsheet for someone, or
see, the
writing a quote.
spreadsheet to me, as somebody who, that sounds like my misery.
Yeah.
I no longer feel bad for the person doing construction, because I've done construction for a huge portion of my life, pretty much every element of it.
Yeah.
From laying sewer pipe to landscaping to stonemason to painting, you name it.
Yeah.
It's about the people that you work with. So your friend
Totally.
who's doing construction, if you're on top of Forum Step Down with a bad vibe, and you're with a crew that's not fun, you're actually most likely having a way worse time than the guy who's down in the valley doing construction with a couple people that are funny and nice. Because the day is just incredible if you work with lighthearted, fun people. I was painting for years with this legend, got his VHS tape right up there, Rube Goldberg, pro on Nitro for a long time, Billabong, one of my heroes in life. Every day I would go to work with Rube. He would be funny. He was nice. He was giving. He still is. I'm talking about him in the past tense so many. Like, he ain't dead yet,
He's still
dude.
here,
He's
guys.
still here. But I just mean, like, it made work so enjoyable.
Yeah.
So maybe my other 2 cents to this conversation is hang out with good people, hang out with funny people, hang out with nice people. Then it doesn't matter what the fuck you're doing, whether it's spreadsheets, construction, snowboarding. If you're with a good group of people, dude, the most mundane, boring bullshit of things that you have to do can be incredible. Like, they can be like not bad.
Turn
Sitting
some
in a
music
waiting
on.
room and you meet somebody funny, you're like, it's kind of sick.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, like, I don't know, you turn the music up and you're just like hanging out. Definitely, I don't know where I'm going with this one, but I fuck with the people I work with heavily. I have my
That's
construction
sick.
job a lot. Like, they're like my dogs. And they like hate me for like, they're like, oh, you got to take off and do your other things. And then they're always like texting me and they're like, I'm on a fucking roof right now, shoveling off this roof so I can get down to the framing and do all this shit. And you're out in the mountains. I'm like, I'm sorry. But like, I don't know, like.
No,
Yeah,
that's good too, because maybe you don't know if you, depending on how you respond to that text, given your relationship with that individual, maybe he's a funny jokester or whatever, but like, you can instill some sort of like, hey dude, like, you're pretty sick at the guitar.
Yeah.
Dude, like, why don't you take Friday off? Ask the boss if your boss is cool. You know what I mean? Like, nobody needs to do construction forever. There are people that genuinely like building and problem solving with their hands, and construction is literally their dream, especially carpenters. I mean, I loved paint. There's people that genuinely like those crafts.
Yeah.
Then there's other people who are doing those crafts out of circumstance that are literally miserable and they hate it. And it's like, to those people, I say, like, you know, what's the thing that you like? And whatever that thing is now with this tool of a phone and YouTube and whatever, you can be an annoying person who creates content over your little niche too and fucking do that thing, whatever that is.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to just work a dead-end job until you fucking die.
I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that. What do I say?
What do you want to say?
I want to say I respect the blue-collar dudes out there and the women out there.
Hell yeah, brother.
No, but yeah, working construction, being with the crew definitely helps a lot with your whole, like, being with a backcountry crew and getting shit done, being timely. Yeah, maybe I'm like going into this part of the podcast, but yeah, like I've learned so much from the construction stuff and like translated it into snowboarding, and it's just like being like, we're gonna go do this in the morning, and like that's the same thing with the job site. You're like doing this and this in the morning, so then whatever, I get this trick so I can do this trick later, or I build this stem wall before I put the framing on it or something. Like I don't know, it's just like all the steps and like following the steps and not like getting out of line, and it's like good structure, I think. I don't really know, I didn't know how to answer your question.
It wasn't really a question as more as it was a statement, but I fucking love where you took that, because the element from working a job like construction is you do learn so many incredible things from that job.
Yeah.
Like there is an expectation when you show up to that job that this wall is going to be completed by the end of the day, because we have gravel coming in tomorrow, so this shit needs to get done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you're a group of people and it's raining outside and then somebody forgot, you know, the tool or the saw and you have to run and the schedule is getting thrown off. It's like all these things you're learning about, like, okay, so if I show up to the parking lot and I forget my beacon or whatever, it really throws off the day. Or if I, you know, whatever, being punctual, you know, showing up, not hungover, that's a big thing. Once you get past 30 years old, I mean, it becomes one hell of a bitch to be hungover and just power through a day of work. And there's nothing worse than doing it hungover with a bunch of grumpy people. But maybe we'll pivot a little bit here. Camp Robbers and Curveball specifically, two videos where you did really start to unlock this like new version of your snowboarding. You got to film with a lot of legends in that time. Gigi, Matt Belzil. What are some takeaways you've had from some of these older figures you've got to work with? More specifically, maybe Gigi and Matt, as you know, they're all on 686, and you got to spend some time in the last couple of years, and both of them being pretty household legends.
Yeah, like Camp Robbers year, Gigi was with us in Baker for like 2 weeks, and I think he was only supposed to be there for a few days.
Nice.
And then he kind of just like hung out, and the snow was like pretty good, and we're having a good time. But yeah, like going back to that other thing, he's like light. He's like acting like a kid, and he's 45 years old. He's also not like trying to like one up anyone. He's like staying in his lane and like doing the tricks he knows how to do. And like, I think that's really sick too. Not like being like, I'm the best, like I'm gonna fucking do the best trick on this, but he just came in with this classic style, rode really well, put a bunch of clips on the board, and like I was just like, that's how you come into a trip. Like you don't like come in and like big dick everyone. But and then like Belzil for like Camp Robbers, like Belzil's like, he's a jumper. He wants to hit some jumps. I didn't really get to hang out with Belzil too much because like every day last year was rough. It was a rough year last year. But we like, I don't think I really got one extremely good day with Belzil out in the backcountry last year.
Other than the broken arm.
Other than the broken arm. But his demeanor is really, really cool to watch. And like picking his brain about like how he has become a financially successful is really cool to like pick his brain about. I always like pick Stale's brain about that too. Stale and like Belzile, and I'm like, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? And I don't know. I like look at my career, and I hope my career can turn into something like that, Belzile. So like, I look up to his kind of like path more than any, like a lot of other snowboarders. He's successful outside of snowboarding, and that's like a super important thing to me as an individual. So that's like one thing I've taken away from Belzile. So, and Belzile's a fucking ripper. Gigi's a ripper. And it was just kind of a blessing to have Belzile in the Whistler backcountry when he wasn't with the two kids.
Yeah, it's nice to get the dad out of the house sometimes and get some laps in. As you kind of transition into this year, what's your approach? What are you trying to accomplish? What are you filming for this year?
Yeah, I'm like this year I'm trying to take it a little less like less pent up energy in a way, be like more casual and just let the clips come with the season and not be like so rushy. And I was talking about it earlier, but like not angsty, but
Desperate.
Like, I'm not trying to be so desperate this year. I'm just like, let it naturally ride instead of having that desperate feeling at the bottom, like I got to get something. And now I'm like dropping in, and I'm having like way more fun dropping in. But what I'm filming for this year is I'm kind of filming for this Thomas Doyle project. I actually hit up Jody this past fall, and I was like, yo, is like the Man Boys doing something? Like, yada, yada. Like, love to go out there. And they're like, nah, we're not doing anything. And I was like, okay, cool, fuck. And then he was like, oh, but like Thomas and Razman and Sean and Finn are all trying to do a project. And I was like, holy shit, like maybe I should like throw my hat in that ring. And kind of random, but I just like was like, I want to do this. I want to go to Whistler. I want to stay up there for the next, like, hopefully stay up here for another month and a half. And that's what I've wanted to do. And those guys allowed it, you know, and then like, I'm just psyched to be part of a Whistler crew that's dialed, and that's what I saw, and that's what I went after, you know.
You know, a bucket list for someone your age is one of those things that's not to be overlooked, you know, and you've hit some of those milestones already. I mean, turning pro for Rome and 686. Two-part question here. What do you have left on the bucket list? And maybe firstly, how monumental, how big was it to get the nod when you did turn pro for Rome and for 686?
I think I'm pro. I think I'm pro. I hopefully am pro. But
you're pro on Rome for sure.
No, I'm on the pro team. I just like don't have like a pro board and the name and like so on. But like,
love that.
But like I don't like. I'm super stoked that they put me on there. Like when they approached me, when I was on Ride, like they approached me. They told me they're like, we're gonna put you on the pro team, and I was like, what? You're gonna put me on the pro team? And I was like, no fucking way. Like hell yeah. And they offered me a great deal, and I was just like, it was a no-brainer. And like I saw that like Blake Paul was getting on Ride, and I was like, ooh, like that might not help my situation too much, but like that's okay. And I'm like so blessed that Rome reached out to me, and they're like, oh, we have this story, we have this slot on the team, we're trying to regrow, build like younger foundation. And I was just like, dude, this is like exactly what I need to do. And right place, right time, right age, right confidence in like riding ability, and like having a couple of video parts under my name, like that like boosted my career a lot. And I'm like so thankful for that. So like shout out Stillman and Max Lyons and Devin Bernard, all those dudes at Rome like really helped me push me to the next level. And like I'm still gonna get that board one day. So just like wait. Like, I'm gonna have a name on it, and then I'll be like cool with it. But yeah, that's the next thing coming. Like that's what I'm gonna work on. Like I never know if that's gonna come down the line, but I'm not ever gonna say that to someone until that name's on that board or something. But yeah, there's a lot more down the line. I want to bring like more community to Tahoe. I want to bring it back to more of a hub. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Actually, I have one idea. The one idea I'm going to do is I'm going to host a hip contest on the rocker hip before the slush quarter pipe contest in Mammoth. And you guys all are going to fly into Reno. I'm going to pick you up and we're going to just like drink a bunch of beers and just like hit this sick hip on Donner Summit. Maybe like give out some prizes. I can't tell you about the prizes, but like it would be a sick time.
Sick.
So I don't know. I don't know if that was kind of all over the place, but
No, that's a wicked little bucket list there.
Yeah,
you want to throw a community event and bring Tahoe back onto the map, which I mean Tahoe is like the original, the Mecca.
Yeah.
From like way back, undoubtedly. And then you want to get a name on a board, which I like that you put the emphasis on that, because I don't think brands realize how much of a nod that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like, to me, that means you really did it. Like, you know,
Totally.
if you get a name with your on the board and you help design it from the specs to like how it rides.
Yeah.
And then not just like, okay, this is the board with your name on it. We pick everything. You know, that doesn't feel like what? Like, no way. Let's get creative and come up with something cool here. You know what I mean? Maybe we give it to select shops or whatever. I would rather have a more limited board, but it really reflects me, than like a mass-produced pro model. You know what I mean? Like, that would be sick. And you know what? Based on what I'm seeing here, and I can't see that being out of reach in the next year or two. And kudos to everybody at Rome for giving you that nod, because the footage that you've put out over the last 5 years is put you in a special place. And personally, I can't wait to see you at NST. And I'm hyped to, you know, see you with that pro model board under your feet.
Yeah, don't.
No pressure.
Yeah,
no pressure.
No pressure. Don't like Rome. I'm not like going like telling you to do this. I'm just like, that's my goal as an individual.
They want to hear that. That's
And
sick.
yeah.
They're like, fuck yeah, our team rider who's pro wants to be like Stahle. You know, he wants a name on a board. That's dope.
And I just need to like build my brand, my own brand image. And that might take me a few more years and stuff, but that's what I want. And that's what I'm after. And I'm not going to give it up until I'm like washed up and I'm like, okay, maybe I shift gears or something. But like, I you know, I don't know. It's part of it. So
I like that. That's a good bucket list here. On that note, let's go through 10 questions here. First and foremost, best style currently and back in the day.
Best style currently, Cody Warble.
Good pick. That kid's sick.
Cody Warble's style is incredible. I would say Gabe Ferguson too. Incredible style. And then back in the day, we'll probably go with Nico. Big fan of Nico. Gigi, Nico. I want to say Terrier, but I don't know. I'll just go with Nico.
Right on. Career highlight.
Probably doing this board slide in Reno, Nevada. I did this like Z board slide, and I was like with this crew called Pay the Rent and this other older crew called Strange Brew, and they kind of all tied together, and when it snows in Reno, they all kind of collab. And I remember this guy, Dambo. We were staying at the casinos because that's what you do down there. You stay at the casinos because it's like $50 to get a room instead of like driving up the mountain pass and shit. And Dambo's like keeping me out on the like tables till like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, let's fucking go. Let's go. Give me your key. And he didn't give me his key. We get back to the room at like 3 o'clock. I'm pissed off. Like I'm like a little drunk, and he's like hammered, talking crazy. And then the next day I like went to this crazy big rail, like super hungover, and did it. And I just was surprised it all worked out because I was like stressing about all the snow in Reno. I was like, we got to go. We got to do all this shit before it melts. And that was just like, it just happened. It was the biggest rail I've ever done, and it was fucking scary and crazy clip high after that one. So, and I was tired too. I was like, I'm so exhausted.
Was that an I Love You, Say It Back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was cool too, because I was just like filming with another crew. I was filming for Camp Robbers that year. Oh, no, I wasn't filming for Camp Robbers. Filming for Fly Away Closer. And I just like linked up with them for like a week because I broke my wrist. And then I got a cast on my wrist in Reno, because that's like where I do all my medical stuff. And then I just did it the next week. And then I linked up with the crew again. And I was just like, that was so sick. I just linked with the crew and got an A grade. And then just went back to my other crew. And now I'm just like filming again.
That ride away was a mind melter. I feel like, yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I was tripping. I was like, no fucking way I did this. Like Johnny Laz, like Cove Card, all these people have driven by this shit and like seen it. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it. And it just somehow worked. I got so lucky, but man, there's so many times I came off on that inside.
Yeah, you went Matt Damon Goodwill Hunting on that thing.
Dude, for sure. That one was gnarly.
You unlocked another world. Like, that must have... How long did that clip high last for?
Dude, all night. Probably all night. Because I just remember, like, then the rest of the crew, we were at this, like, college. And it was, like, Christmas or something like that. So everything shut down. And we're just, like... Keenan Crawley and like Riley Nickerson's there and like Zach Hale's in the lot, and they're like just like hanging out and we're drinking beers and just like, and I'm just like, you know, after you get a clip like that and you're hanging with the crew after, like nothing in the world is wrong. And it's like such a like present feeling, and that one will always sit with me. So like backcountry one, maybe like the back 10 I did in Camp Robbers. Because it was just Miles did a back double, backflip, a double backflip with a tail grab, and then Blake does a front dub 10 first try, and then we make a fire after, and we're just like chilling. And it's just so sick. And yeah, Goop got a clip like on some other feature that wasn't the jump, but it was just, we're just all sitting around the fire in Brighton. I was just like, we're doing it. We're fucking doing this. Like a 23-year-old, 22-year-old, we're like, we're doing this. Like, I don't care if I just hit Sage's old jump. Like, I'm fucking building it bigger.
Eternal bliss. I feel incredible.
Yeah, eternal bliss.
One skill you wish you had.
Guitar. I wish I knew how to play guitar. Yeah, that one's a big one.
Well, you can learn how to play the guitar. Do you own one?
This is a crazy one. Aaron's given me one because Aaron's he's a stick on the guitar. But yeah, I just never got into it. I need to get into it. Thomas and I are like talking that we're going to play shows for the whole crew every night and learn how to play the guitar. But yeah, I haven't dusted that one off yet. Yeah.
The guitar, I think that's on a lot of people's bucket list when they're your age. Learn how to play a guitar. All I'm saying is pick it up now, because then when you're my age, you can actually play it. Who's the gnarliest snowboarder?
Chris Rasman, Blake Muller, and Denver Orr.
Dude, he's kind of a sleeper for how gnarly he is. You know what I mean?
Dude, he's so gnarly.
I think so many people are like, think that he's just like this really good ATV, but when you watch all of his footage, it's like there's always a couple clips that are so fucking savage. Like
savage, and just also like
do or die.
Like there's sometimes he like recommends some shit to me and I'd be like the negative guy in the room being like, no, you're not doing that. Like, you're gonna fucking die. Like, we don't want you to do that. But then like there's been a couple times where he just says he's gonna do it and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm scared for him. Like, I'm really scared. And then he fucking does it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I really need to just like, yeah, maybe you should say it. Like, be like, yo, like, chill out. Like, this is gnarly. Like, you could die if you go this way. But also, it's just like believing in yourself. And if he believes in himself and heard our thoughts and got past our concerns, it's on him at that moment. So,
yeah.
But, like, he's blown my mind so many fucking times. Like, I think you posted that back lip. he did. He does like a back lip, hop back lip, and he collabed with him. Like, I don't think people know how gnarly that rail is. It's flat and steep, and like the insides, it's really tight. So like you come off on the inside and like you're gonna hit a support and you're gonna get fucking that shit whip. And then you gotta hop. It's just long and techy, and like that clip is insane. Like I watched that in person, and it's probably one of the most incredible things I've ever seen on my snowboard. Like that and Rasmus's what he did the other day, and Blake Muller doing whatever the fuck he wants to do. So
let's chalk up a favorite BMO clip.
there's a lot of them. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's so fucking
dude,
sick. I'm a super fan.
I'm a super fan too. Probably his front dub 10 to our like session on Sage's jump at Brighton. Maybe not the gnarliest, but the funnest kind of session and group time together. I'm trying to think. There's so many gnarly ones. Everything he does is fucking gnarly.
I mean, the back five he opens curveball with is like one of the greatest back fives ever done.
That snow is horrible.
Oh yeah, he like
God
lands
awful.
in a wheelie, and it's like, were you there for that?
Yeah, I was there. And I
Take
did
us
not.
through that back five.
Okay, that back five. Super shitty day at Baker. Like super shitty. Like we're trying to make the most of it. We got Simone with us, that Solomon rider, and we're like, oh, we got to get Simone some clips and like be part of this whole thing. And Blake just gets back from his old like NST like second place, like big wig shit. And I was just like, oh my God, like I'm super fan. But we like are hiking in Baker at the upper lot. There's the lot lines that you look across the way, and then you like can kind of hike around in there. And there's that feature that he does the back five on, and he sets it up. The snow like sets up in like 2 seconds. You know, like you pack it down, it sets up in 2 seconds, like locked hard. And Blake doesn't put in runs into anything, like nothing. Like there's no in run, like. So he puts no in run to it. It's all bumpy and fucking crazy going into it. And I'm like, you know, like I'm not doing shit. Like I did like a super sick thing like 2 days ago. I'm just going to chill. And then he just straps up and he does a back five. I think like the first one he got like shit whipped. Second one he didn't do it that good. And then the third one he just fucking did perfect. And just like rode away. And then like there's like rocks at the bottom that are super exposed. There's a creek in the way. He has to turn toe side out of it. Like the way he can just cat out of everything and just put it to his feet is just like, I've only seen it with like certain people. Like I see it with Rasmus, and I see it with like, I see it with like Rasmus and Blake. And those are like the only two I've like really seen it with. Maybe Cannon a little, but not on that level of like gnarly. So like, yeah, no, I'm not trying to downplay anyone. I'm just trying to like say that.
No, you're not trying to downplay Cannon. You're trying to put an emphasis on BMO and Rasmus.
Yeah, because they're just fucking gnarly. They're just gnarly.
Well, because when you're willing to take speed into like uncharted waters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have like the way Rasmus, he puts it to his feet. His air awareness is so well that, and his idea of what the landing and the unknowns are going to be on the landing is so impressive when they come onto their feet and they have to respond within like 0.03 seconds to be like, okay, I got to go to my toe edge, put on 15% more pressure than normal to dump on speed. Like it's magnificent what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing to cab five off a step down into an open pow field and then ride out. It's another thing to back five into a landing where you have to land onto your toe edge at one point because there's a creek, and if you ragdoll switch into the creek, you're gonna be fucked.
Like totally fucked. Like that outrun is so gnarly, and the clip does not do its justice. Like the kid is so catty, it's crazy. He's so catty. I've learned so much from riding with him because he's just like such a, you know, like he grew up doing the free ride world tour and then like kind of moved into the backcountry. And like my first year filming in the backcountry with him, I'm like, what the fuck? Why is he wiggling like that into that shit? And then like now I wiggle into shit. And like,
What's the wiggle?
I don't know. It's like he's got this fucking weird little wiggle that he does, and it's like he rides like this softer board and he wiggles into shit. I don't know. It's just it's just weird.
And you're like, I don't even know what he's doing, but I'm wiggling at everything now.
Because you like, you know, like you when you're trying to ride a line or something, you're like, I haven't ridden like many lines or anything big lines yet, but like he like does a big toe side turn, does a heel side turn, and then he does like a little wiggle toe to heel to set him up or something for the takeoff. And I like that shit's like you don't learn that in the park. You learn that in the backcountry. You like learn all these like little things, and I've been just like picking it up, and now I'm like finally being like, oh dude, I fucking got this. Like I can do anything I want now. Yeah, so
banging. Most underrated
snowboarder, Christian Connors. I don't know if anyone knows who that is, but yeah, he's the most underrated snowboarder, probably one of the gnarliest snowboarders, and one of my best friends.
Sick.
Yeah.
Does he film at all or off radar?
He filmed a little bit. He filmed a little bit. He used to ride for he still kind of rides for like Volcom and Sims. You may have seen like a photo of him doing like a cross air. He does like an air and it goes to a cross. I'll show you after the video, after the podcast. But he's just gnarly. You know, he's not asking for attention, and he's better than pretty much 80% of pro snowboarders.
I love that. But the thing is, every pro knows that same person. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So is everyone listening to this knows the local hero that never did it.
Totally.
But most of them never wanted it to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if most people who are listening to this probably for a year or two wanted to be a pro, went into the streets, taco to kink, and they're like, nah, I don't want to do that again. All good.
I'll go ride the park.
And you and me are just like, let's do this forever.
Yeah. Let's do this forever. Love tacoing rails. Love short track and jumps. Such a great feeling.
What keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up at night? Shorties? I don't know. Shorties.
Mainly breezies.
Yeah, I what keeps me up at night is just like leaving a good mark and like wanting to wake up and like be like, fuck, tomorrow's like I don't really know what's keeping me up at night.
Maybe nothing. Maybe
nothing.
Good.
I'm sleeping good.
That's good.
I'm chilling. I don't have anything keeping me up at night. Just wanna stay the same and not like change.
Do you want to be the same forever?
No, but kind of, yeah. Like same like attitude and vibe, and not like try to like.
I mean, you got a good attitude and vibe. I think that you have a good. You've mentioned a lot of times throughout this conversation how excited, how grateful you are to be in some of these positions that you're in, which is awesome, because I think anyone listening to this, like some people some people get dealt some shitty fucking cards, you know what I mean?
Totally.
And to know that some people who've gotten some good cards are at least grateful for the pocket aces, it makes other people feel good. Because when you're an ungrateful fuck, you don't realize that a lot of people are getting 2-7, 2-7, 2-7. If you know anything about poker, it's the worst hand in poker, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting dealt shitty cards.
Yeah.
The one thing about life is if you trust the process, like Aaron Leyland says, eventually you're going to get those fucking pocket aces.
Yeah.
You know, eventually. It always comes full circle, especially if you're a good person. And then, if you're a good person, you can sleep at night.
Yes. Exactly.
What does success look like to you?
Oh man, that's a hard question. To me, it's definitely like something like malleable, like something that like I've obtained, or something like that's like I don't know if this is whack, but like I'm like super stoked that this is so whack, but like I'm super stoked that my video part was in the poll of video parts for the year. Like,
why is that whack? That's an achievement.
Yeah, like that's an achievement, and I never kind of thought, I never like try to like think that I'm like in there, but like when it happens, like I'm like, damn, like I'm actually doing it. I feel confident in myself, and I'm happy about that. Or like filming a video part, being healthy after a long year, like building a wall for construction. I don't know, framing a wall up.
Chalking up walls are sick, dude.
Yeah.
Cheers to good walls.
Yeah,
If you're out there
walls.
doing construction and chacking up some nice walls, dude, cheers to you, brother.
I honestly just like being successful to me now is just like being in a healthy mental state, I think.
Were you in an unhealthy mental state and you had to work hard to be in the one you're in right now, or has this been pretty easy for you?
I definitely feel like I've been like, I go like up and down. Like this year I'm feeling like super strong, like physically and mentally and just like confident. But like, yeah, maybe some years like it's just, you have like crew dynamics, or you just like don't believe in yourself, or you don't get funding, and it just like doesn't line up as much. And like, I don't know. It depends on the year. It goes up and down. Like, dude, when you're like 21, 22, 23, like you're angsty and you're like full of anxiety. And like, I think that I'm like starting to like come out of that and like be a little bit more like comfortable with myself and like not care what I say in front of people and just like give less fucks. And it's just like helped me so much. And like, I'm like, oh, like I actually am a nice person. And like, I actually like myself. And I think it's just like really paying off now.
That was fucking awesome, dude. I like you too, man.
Yeah, thank you too.
That's fucking sick, dude. That was nice. One area of your life you'd like to work on.
One area of my life that I want to work on. I don't know, dude. I love my life right now. Maybe like
Fucking right.
one area, it's just being more positive, to be honest. Just like more positive about like my situation. And
How positive out of 1 to 10 do you think you are right now?
right now, probably like after this streak we've had, like I'm feeling pretty damn confident and positive. Like I'm like, okay, anything is possible here. But I would say like an 8. Like an 8, but like
That's pretty good. I feel
Yeah.
like a 10's annoying.
a 10's annoying.
You can't be a 10.
No one's a 10.
Dude, a 9's okay. Someone who's positive a 10, you're like, they murder people. I think
Totally,
they got people in the
yeah.
basement.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but like it's just staying positive and staying strong and just like not letting the times where you don't land your jump trick and like letting those thoughts like push into your brain and just like go back up there and like make those adjustments and just like keep riding with it, because you never know what you're going to come out with. And if you don't come out with shit, just like let it go. Like let it go. I'm like really trying to let it go and be positive. Those are 2 things.
Yeah, fucking rights, dude. Let it go. I mean, oh man, if only all of the world
Yeah.
could let go of that trauma or that thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So many people have this thing, including myself, that are just let it go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just give yourself a fucking break. Be a good person and let it go. Fucking great. I love that. And don't be desperate.
And don't be desperate.
I fucking love that one too. We're fucking learning tons of things on this fucking episode, people. Don't be desperate. Chalk that. Write that on the wall.
Yeah.
That one's good. All right. Because I know you got a bang in one of these, who's got your favorite method?
Oh, man. Fucking Gabe Ferguson and Ben Ferguson.
The Fergs. Pretty good pick.
Yeah, kind of the Fergs. They do it the best. Like I want to say Nico, but dude, like Gabe and Ben and Brock, like they do it the most proper way anyone can do it. They put it like Brock puts it between the bindings and then like puts it behind his head and shit. And then like that's so hard to do. And then like Gabe and Ben will just like do like the more Euro style one, but like put it over their head and like really stretch it and grab it right at the binding right there. And yeah, it's pretty it's there's no question to that one. It's those 2 for me, or those 3. Brock's got a fire ass method.
Great picks. All right, who's the GOAT, male and female?
Goat, male or female?
Male and female. Or you could fucking pick one if you want.
For female, definitely, I would say like Hannah Beeman to me, because Hannah Beeman was like always super cool with me on ride and just like, and then being on 686, and that was always, I just like looked up to her, and you know, she's back 7, like, what's it called?
Baker Road Gap.
Yeah, Baker Road Gap. She's like gnarly. She's won NST. She's a sweetheart. Like, that's everything I want to see in someone, to be honest. Maybe not like all the achievements, but just like individuality. And then for a guy, fuck, this is so hard because there's so many good snowboarders out there. If I would just go with like snowboard ability, Jed Anderson is pretty goated. MVP. I don't know. Can I go backcountry and snowboard, or backcountry guy and then a street
You
guy?
chalking. This is your podcast, Keegs. You let them know.
Yeah, like I go like Jed Anderson probably because he just did it the right way and has had the coolest career in his life and crazy loco to all the Videographs videos, and that shit's burned into my brain. And then for backcountry, it's Nico for sure, or like it's Nico. Just the sickest fucking style. Rides the line, right? Has freestyle. And I don't really know about his whole other fucking things he talks about, but I just know he snowboards like Michael Jordan.
Well said. Maybe in closing, do you have any advice for snowboarding as we grow? You know, do you have just a vague piece of advice?
I would say if you want to be a pro snowboarder, like the time is now. Like you get like as soon as you're out there, like you gotta like work hard, and like maybe you'll have like a couple upper hands, but like all it really comes down is working hard and like mastering your craft and making sure you're talented, and also like don't get like, I see a lot of people, and I hate to say this, but like they like go down this path and they're maybe not like the most talented person. Just like, don't let it eat you alive. Like just, if you're like feeling that, just like go snowboard and have fun. Cause it's like, it sucks when you're like trying. And it just ruins snowboarding to you. And the best days I have are the best days that I'm not even like trying to work on my snowboard. It's like just going to Palisades for like 2 hours by myself with headphones in. So just, if it happens, it happens, but don't like, you got to work hard. You got to let it happen. You got to be in the right place in the right time. And you do got to get lucky at some sense. You got to get lucky, and you got to be talented though. I don't know how to answer that one. That there's like so much in that one that's like,
No, you fucking nailed that, dude. It's like really, it's about, you gotta, if you want to be great at anything, take what you just said. You know what I mean? Like you do need to put your reps in,
totally.
You know? And when you're putting in your reps day in and day out, just remember that when you're just bombing around the hill for those 2 hours alone, like that might be as good as it gets.
Totally.
And just being grateful that you can do those runs to begin with, you know. And another thing I always like to throw in with these podcasts is to not forget how great it is to go snowboarding, but more importantly, how great it is to go snowboarding even on those days that aren't even great.
Totally.
And sometimes it's alone, sometimes it's with a buddy, sometimes it's with somebody that you don't even really know. But don't forget, through how serious this life can become, that the greatest tool to alleviate you of how serious it is the magic carpet ride, as Sean Kearns in the last episode said, to go snowboarding and just fucking relax. Give yourself a break.
Yeah.
Don't be so desperate. Go snowboarding.
Yeah, I'd go snowboarding, find your friends, and just like link up with them and just like let it take you there from there. Because not everyone has fucking mad money or like trust fund money and shit. Like you just gotta like,
what, you're a lower middle class kid too? That's cute.
yeah, like I don't even like want to talk about that stuff. It's just like, it's just more like Dude, you like come into this because of the community that brought you into it, and if it's your friend or if it's like an Aaron Blatt who's your first snowboard coach at your local program who sparks that, like use that and just like build off of it. Like you can't build a house without fucking lumber. You know what I mean? Like you gotta need the lumber before you do anything.
Also need the skills.
You also need the skills.
And desperation's not going to get you anywhere.
And desperation's not going to get you anywhere. You know what's going to get you there is having fun and working hard.
Cheers. Work hard, everybody.
Yeah.
Go snowboarding. And we're all looking forward to your pro model coming out with Rome. No pressure, Rome.
Rome. I'm sorry, Stillman.
And we also want pro model outerwear with 686 and an Autumn, of course, the same company that we ride for.
Yes.
Autumn Headwear, who sponsors Airtime TV, which we have a new episode coming out soon. Check out that. What project do you know the name of the film yet? No.
No name for the film, but it's Thomas Doyle's project.
Tommy Doyle film dropping this fall with Keegs, Chris Rasman, Sean Miskimen, Jack Dukes a little bit, maybe
and Finn Finestone.
And Finn Finestone,
which is he's a wizard.
He's a wizard, and we have a wizard. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Be a good person. See you later.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.